Chapter 590. Little girl, even if you don't want to be my servant, you can't hurt people with your sword. It's not a good habit, Qin Feng lectured Ren Xiaoyao as he dodged the attacks. Ren Xiaoyao became a stage 7 energy cultivator at such a young age with the help of his family. He didn't expect that he couldn't even hurt an inconspicuous brat in front of him. Ren Xiaoyao was about to explode when he saw Qin Feng's smug expression. Brat, you're pissing me off. Yen Wu Shuang sped up and the sword chi became sharper. Qin Feng was a stage 6 energy cultivator, so he could deal with a stage 8 energy cultivator. However, it was difficult for him to dodge Ren Xiaoyao's attacks. Little beauty, your sword technique is pretty good, but I advise you to stop now. Don't regret it when I'm done with my sword. Qin Feng's expression turned cold. Since when did Ren Xiaoyao ever admit defeat? Not only did the silver soft sword in her hand not stop, but it also danced around like snowflakes. Every sword flower was filled with coldness, and Qin Feng felt like he was going to die. An orange-grade spirit sword appeared in the hands of Qin Feng, who had been dodging all this while. Holding the spirit blast sword in his hand, Qin Feng simply slashed at the sky. A stream of sword chi, which seemed to have condensed into a solid form, slashed at Ren Xiaoyao. What kind of sword technique is this? How can it be so powerful? Ren Xiaoyao opened her mouth wide in shock. She had a cute look on her face as she felt a strong sense of danger. Before the sword chi could injure her, she quickly leaped away. In a breath's time, she had retreated dozens of meters away. The sword chi disappeared as the sword chi faded away. Qin Feng stood there alone with his sword. He realized that the sword chi produced by the 9 strategies beyond the swords had become more powerful after his breakthrough, and he was very satisfied with it. How is it? Do you know how powerful I am now? Do you want to learn the sword technique that I just showed you? If you come home with me, I'll teach you. Qin Feng looked at Ren Xiaoyao with a smile. Ren Xiaoyao's pretty face was puffed up with anger as she looked at Qin Feng snappily. She was already shocked by Qin Feng's sword. The family behind Ren Xiaoyao was extremely powerful. Whether it was elixirs or secret manuals, they were all very rich. Ren Xiaoyao liked the way of the sword, so she chose the mystic grade moon shyness sword art to cultivate from a young age. This sword art could only be cultivated by a virgin girl to the large success stage. Although Ren Xiaoyao had not cultivated the moon shyness sword art to the large success stage, she had reached the small success stage. What's more, this sword technique was a mysterious rank sword technique, which was extremely rare in China. She never thought that Qin Feng would be able to break through it with one move. It truly blinded Ren Little Yao's adorable eyes. What a bullshit sword technique. It's so lousy, I don't want to learn it. No matter how shocked she was, Ren Xiaoyao didn't want to show it in front of Qin Feng. She hated Qin Feng to death. Ren Xiaoyao had only hated 2 people in her life. One was the strange man with the wolf mask who had taken advantage of her in St. Medic Hall half a month ago, and the other was this stinky man with an extremely ordinary appearance. Forget it if you don't want to learn it. I'm leaving. Qin Feng knew that Ren Xiaoyao was afraid of his skills, so she didn't dare to attack him. Qin Feng didn't have any ill intentions towards Ren Xiaoyao. Instead, he felt that this girl was very cute. Teasing her was one of the joys of life. Hey, who said you can leave? Stop right there. Ren Xiaoyao hurriedly shouted when she saw Qin Feng was about to leave. Qin Feng stopped, turned around, and shook his head. His elegant hair danced in the wind. No matter how Ren Xiaoyao saw him, at least Qin Feng felt that he was extremely handsome at this moment. Beauty, is there anything else? Qin Feng smiled like a gentleman. Ren Xiaoyao was so disgusted by Qin Feng that she almost vomited. She said unhappily, You just bumped into my chest, and you want to leave just like that? In your dreams. Qin Feng looked at Ren Xiaoyao in surprise. He looked around and asked doubtfully, Did I bump into Mrs. Pet Bear? Where is it? Is it flat? Why, you're shameless. Ren Xiaoyao knew that Qin Feng was pretending to be dumb. She was so angry that she couldn't speak. Qin Feng said with a straight face, How am I shameless? If I really bumped into Mrs. Bear, then I'll compensate you. But don't you see any bears around here? Ren Xiaoyao couldn't hold it in anymore. She screamed, It's not a pet bear. It's my 36D breasts. Do you understand? Yes, yes, yes. I understand this very well. Then, can I help Miss Ruro? Qin Feng leaped and arrived beside Ren Xiaoyao. A fragrant scent wafted from Ren Xiaoyao's body. Ren Xiaoyao hurriedly crossed her arms and looked at Qin Feng warily. What do you want? I'm telling you. I'm the daughter of the Saint Medic. You're dead meat today. Qin Feng knew that Ren Xiaoyao was from the Saint Medic, but he didn't expect her to be the daughter of the Saint Medic. This identity was incredible. Qin Feng was worried sick. He hurriedly said, "Oh my God. So you're the young miss of Saint Medicine Hall. It's all my fault. It's all my fault. But my family is poor, and I can't afford to pay for it. How about I give young miss a massage for a while, and you let me go?" Humph, that's more like it. It's good that you know to admit defeat. Then you. Ren Xiaoyao was pleased to see that Qin Feng's attitude had softened. However, when she realized Qin Feng's words, she was so angry that her lungs were about to explode. What are you talking about? You're going to piss me off. Miss, are you going to massage your breasts or not? If you're not, I'm leaving. When Qin Feng saw that the situation was not good, he wanted to run away. Yanwu Shuang was watching Qin Feng, so how could she let him run away? Brat, tell me your name. I'm going to make you regret offending me today. Yanwu Shuang raised her silver flexible sword. She looked like she was going to fight Qin Feng again. Suddenly, Qin Feng's expression changed. He said coldly, "Miss, I've already apologized to you and promised to massage your breasts. But you're using your background to bully me. I hate people like you the most. How can you say that I bumped into your chest? Force is mutual. I can say that you bumped into my head with your chest on purpose." Qin Feng held his head high and puffed out his chest. He had an unyielding spirit. Ren Xiaoyao was stunned. It was her first time seeing such a shameless man in front of her. You're saying that I bumped into you with my chest? Why don't you go home and look at yourself in the mirror? Do you think you're Andy Lau? You look like Song Xiaobao. Do you think I'm blind? Ren Xiaoyao placed her hands on her hips. Qin Feng curled his lips. He was embarrassed to say that he was handsome. You bumped into me with your chest anyway. It doesn't matter what you say. Ren Xiaoyao was furious. She pointed at Qin Feng and said, You wait. I'll go back to the sacred medic hall to call for help. You're dead today." Ren Xiaoyao was about to call for help in a huff. However, before she could leave, Qin Feng suddenly fell to the ground. He held his head and cried out in pain, "Ouch! Everyone, come and look. The sacred medic hall's miss is bullying others. She bumped someone's head with her chest and wants him to compensate her. Is there any justice in this world? So what if you have big breasts?" Qin Feng screamed at the top of his lungs as he lay on the ground. This attracted the attention of many martial artists who were strolling around. Ren Xiaoyao's beautiful face instantly flushed red. Some of it was because she was angry, but most of it was because she was extremely shy. She was the sacred medic hall's Mississippi. If word of this got out, Ren Xiaoyao would be too ashamed to live. Seeing many martial artists gathering around, Ren Xiaoyao was extremely embarrassed. She glared at Qin Feng and quickly ran away. "Brat, I'll remember you. Don't ever come to martial artist town again. Otherwise, I won't let you off." As soon as Ren Xiaoyao ran away, Qin Feng stood up and said to the crowd, "Hee, it's fine now. Everyone, be careful of that woman in the red cheongsam in the sacred medic hall. She may be beautiful, but she has a venomous heart. How dare she attack my chest? Fortunately, my head is hard. Otherwise, it would have been broken." The news of the fight between the exchange students from the St. Second Medical Institute and the students from the medical college had already spread across the entire provincial capital university. Everyone was missing Teacher Qin Feng's voice. If Teacher Qin Feng was not expelled and Qin Feng was the one who taught the Chinese medicine class yesterday, would those 5 exchange students still dare to be so arrogant? Would that scum Xiao Lei embarrass the provincial capital university so thoroughly? A row of people stood in the provincial capital university's principal's office. They were the deans and lecturers of the various faculties of the provincial capital university. All of them were dejected and dared not speak. The principal, Wang Zhonghua, stood in front of them with his hands clasped behind his back. He paced back and forth in the office more than 10 times. Suddenly, Wang Zhonghua stopped pacing and looked at the people in front of him. Shameful. This is so shameful. Tell me, where should I put my old face? Everyone lowered their heads and remained silent like children who had done something wrong. Among the crowd, there was a man who was trembling from head to toe. He was more nervous and afraid than the others. His legs were shaking violently because he was the main reason why the provincial capital university's reputation was ruined. Instructor Xiao Lei, don't you have anything to say? Wang Zhonghua glared at Xiao Lei and asked in annoyance. Xiao Lei was so scared that he almost fell to the ground. He thought it would be enough to please the students from the Saint Second Medical Institute, but he did not expect that the principal would still be furious. Wang Zhonghua was even angrier when Xiao Lei remained silent. He continued, "Do you know what the provincial capital university students are saying about our university? An inferior school that worships foreign things. A school that only knows how to read in class. Do you know how Professor Mike and the other lecturers from the Saint Medical Institute looked at me? Their eyes were filled with disappointment and mockery. How can I continue to be the principal of the provincial capital university? What a good university it was. Did I ruin it?" Wang Zhonghua was really angry. The exchange conference had not even officially started, but the provincial capital university had already suffered a crushing defeat. The deans and lecturers in front of him were silent. Xiao Lei was so scared that he held his breath and broke out in a cold sweat. The principal's office fell into a dead silence. Even the sound of a pin dropping could be heard. But at this moment, a leisurely voice rang out. Chapter 591. An unfamiliar voice came from the door. Everyone in the office looked at the man standing at the door. The man was dressed in a well-ironed and handsome suit. He was tall and straight, but his face was too ordinary. It was easy to forget him after one look. "Who are you?" Wang Zhonghua did not know the man in front of him, so he suppressed his anger and asked, "Hello, Principal Wang. Are you having a meeting? I hope I'm not disturbing you." Xiao Feng walked into the office with a smile, as if he was in his own home. He took a chair and sat down. Wang Zhonghua and the dozen professors and deans stood and looked at Xiao Feng. Xiao Feng was embarrassed by their stares. "Why is everyone standing? Come, take a seat. Make yourself at home. Don't stand on ceremony with me." Qin Feng chuckled as he greeted everyone. He made it sound like this was his territory. You're right. Wang Zhonghua was already having a headache because of the exchange meeting. Now that he was angered by Qin Feng, he glared at Qin Feng and asked, "Who are you? We are having an important meeting. Please leave." "Principal Wang, I'm Xiao Feng. I'm a new teacher, and I'm here to report for duty." Xiao Feng looked at Wang Zhonghua with a smile. Wang Zhonghua's expression changed slightly when he heard the name Xiao Feng. Yesterday, the director of the Ministry of Education personally called Wang Zhonghua to arrange a teacher in Provincial Capital University. Wang Zhonghua was puzzled at that time. Who was Xiao Feng to the director? Not only did Wang Zhonghua make a phone call to arrange a good position, but Xiao Feng was only an ordinary Chinese medicine teacher in the medical college. Wang Zhonghua looked at Xiao Feng again. The more he looked at Xiao Feng, the more ordinary he felt this person was. Wang Zhonghua had to discuss the follow-up of the exchange student, so he had no time to take care of Xiao Feng. He said, "You are Xiao Feng. I've arranged everything. You can go to the medical college anytime you want. I have something important to do now, so I won't be taking you to class. Go find a female teacher named Chang Xian and ask her to arrange it for you." "Thank you, Principal Wang." Qin Feng nodded at Wang Zhonghua. He had no intention of leaving. Wang Zhonghua frowned and asked Qin Feng, "Professor Xiao Feng, is there anything you don't understand?" "Nothing." "Then you can leave first. We still have business to discuss." Wang Zhonghua was about to die from anger. He thought to himself, how can this person be so blind? Xiao Feng was not anxious at all. He leisurely sat on the chair and said, "Oh, I see that you have an important meeting to attend, and I am now a teacher at Kyoto University. Of course, I have to attend this kind of meeting. I can learn a lot. You guys continue, don't mind me, I have nothing to say." It wasn't just Wang Zhonghua who was speechless towards Xiao Feng. The corners of the mouths of the directors and professors were twitching violently. They had already told him that this was an important meeting, and everyone present was a big shot. You're just an ordinary Chinese medicine teacher, and a teacher who had just come to report. Why are you here? Why don't you have any sense? This is a meeting of the school's higher-ups. Everyone here is at the level of the dean and professors. What's with a new teacher like you sitting here? Get out of here. Xiao Lei knew that he had made a big mistake this time, so he kept quiet during the meeting. Now that he had found a chance to flatter Xiao Feng, he quickly stood up and shouted at Xiao Feng. Qin Feng saw Xiao Lei as soon as he entered the room, but he was too lazy to deal with this idiot. Now that Xiao Lei had taken the initiative to provoke him, Qin Feng couldn't tolerate his bad habit. You must be Professor Xiao Lei, right? Qin Feng looked at Xiao Lei with a smile. Xiao Lei was slightly stunned. He pointed at his nose and said, You know me? Of course I know you. Lecturer Xiao Lei is famous in Kyoto University. Who wouldn't know you? Xiao Lei put away his anger and grinned. He looked at Qin Feng and said, Haha, brother Xiao Feng, you're flattering me. I, Xiao Lei, am indeed very accomplished in the field of Western medicine, and I'm deeply loved by my students. However, there's always someone better than you, so we teachers should be humble. I've always lived by the principle of neither arrogance nor rashness. I've always kept a low profile, but I still accidentally became the focus of Kyoto University. This is really a pleasant surprise. Xiao Lei didn't expect the new teacher, Xiao Feng, to know about him. He became complacent. I don't know if what Professor Xiao Lei said is true or not. The reason I know about you is that on my way here from the campus, the students were cursing a teacher named Xiao Lei. They said that he has bad teaching skills and only knows how to read books. They said that he has a big head, big ears, and triangular eyes. The most shameful thing is that he is subservient to foreign exchange students and fawns over them. Sigh. This kind of person is a disgrace to Huaxia. Qin Feng was absolutely merciless when he scolded Xiao Lei. The smile on Xiao Lei's face suddenly froze. He was so angry that his neck turned red. You. Stop it. Do you really think that my teaching skills are bad? It's obvious that the 5 exchange students are too strong. I believe that if you were to teach, you would be even worse than me. Xiao Lei hastily interrupted Qin Feng. He had lost all of his dignity. Incompetent people always like to find all kinds of excuses when they fail. Since Professor Xiao Lei said so, then we'll just accept it, Qin Feng said unhurriedly. You. Well said. So you're saying that you can suppress the 5 elite students sent by the Saint Medical University? Then I'll let you attend the exchange course for the next few days. Xiao Lei sneered halfway through his anger. He threw the thorny problem to Qin Feng. If Qin Feng didn't agree, he would be slapped in the face. If Qin Feng agreed, he would be slapped in the face by the 5 exchange students. Xiao Lei didn't believe that a new Chinese medicine teacher could suppress the 5 elite students. Xiao Lei, I don't think you have the slightest awareness of your mistakes. Wang Zhonghua glared at Xiao Lei before Xiao Feng could open his mouth. In the eyes of Wang Zhonghua and the other deans and professors, it was obvious that Xiao Feng couldn't suppress the exchange students. Therefore, Wang Zhonghua cut the topic short. He never thought of relying on Xiao Feng to solve the problem. You don't have to provoke me. I'm here in a hurry to meet the exchange students and lecturers. How dare they act ruthlessly in China? How dare they make a scene in the medical university? How can I let them have their way? Bang! Qin Feng slammed the table and stood up abruptly. His voice was loud and clear, and it shocked everyone present. All right. You said it yourself. You heard it, Principal Wang. Professor Xiao Feng volunteered himself to deal with the exchange students. Let's give him the opportunity to perform well. Xiao Lei was excited that he had found a scapegoat. He was afraid that Qin Feng would go back on his words in the next second. Wang Zhonghua glared at Xiao Lei. He had the urge to kick Xiao Lei. Nonsense. Xiao Feng, go and find Professor Chang Xian first. We'll talk about the rest later. Obviously, Wang Zhonghua was not optimistic about Qin Feng. He assumed that Qin Feng was someone who relied on his connections to get by. How could he hand over such an important exchange meeting to a new teacher like Xiao Feng? Xiao Feng knew that he could not convince Wang Zhonghua in a short time, so he left. If it wasn't for the investigation of the William family, Xiao Feng wouldn't waste his time on such matters. Principal Wang, leaders, I'll take my leave now. Qin Feng smiled at everyone and left the principal's office. After exiting the office, Qin Feng made a detour to the ordinary lecturer's office building. He went up to the third floor and arrived at Chang Xian's office. It had been a long time since Qin Feng last saw Chang Xian. He was a little excited. Qin Feng pushed the door open without knocking. As soon as the door opened, a beautiful figure crashed into him. Although Qin Feng had the ability to dodge, he had no intention of doing so. Chang Xian cried out in surprise and fell into Qin Feng's arms. Qin Feng had a wicked smile on his face, but he quickly calmed down. He frowned and wrapped his arm around Chang Xian's slender waist. He asked nervously, "Professor, are you all right? I was just about to enter the office, but I didn't expect you to come out at the same time. Did I scare you?" Chang Xian was indeed frightened. She was about to go to the campus for a walk, but she bumped into a tall man as soon as she stepped out of the door. Her heart was still racing. "Let go of me first." Chang Xian felt her waist being touched by Qin Feng. Her chest was pressed tightly against his chest. Chang Xian was not used to such intimate behavior. Qin Feng took a whiff of Chang Xian's familiar fragrance and released her. Chang Xian was still wearing her signature black silk dress and black high heels. She looked very mature and alluring, and her temperament was very similar to Liu Qin's. Who are you?" Chang Xian sized up Qin Feng. She had never seen such an ordinary-looking man before. Qin Feng smiled and extended his hand. "My name is Qiao Feng. I have just joined the provincial capital university as a teacher. I just went to Principal Wang's office to report for duty. He asked me to look for you to make arrangements for me." Chang Xian did not have the habit of shaking hands with men. She usually ignored male teachers when she saw them. "Oh, I see. What class are you teaching?" Seeing that Chang Xian had no intention of shaking hands with him, Qin Feng smiled and withdrew his hand. "Professor Chang Xian, I just washed my hands after peeing. Do you think my hands are dirty?" Chang Xian did not expect Qin Feng to answer her question with such a disgusting question. She glared at Qin Feng and said, "What nonsense are you talking about? I'm very busy right now. If you don't want me to bring you to class, I'll take my leave." Chang Xian was cold and arrogant. Qin Feng knew Chang Xian's temper, so he was not surprised. He chuckled and followed her. Chapter 592. Chang Xian, who was walking in front of Qiao Feng, stopped abruptly and stood dumbfounded on the spot. Qiao Feng's words reminded Chang Xian of Qin Feng. Tears welled up in Chang Xian's eyes. She missed Qin Feng and felt guilty toward him. Chang Xian was the one who caused Qin Feng's expulsion. Vice Dean Gao Hai had taken a liking to Chang Xian's beauty and wanted to use his power to suppress Chang Xian. However, not only did Qin Feng save Chang Xian in the bar, but he also beat up Gao Hai. After that incident, Gao Hai used his power to expel Qin Feng. Although Qin Feng had been reinstated in Provincial Capital University, and they were trying to find someone to invite him back to teach again, Chang Xian couldn't find Qin Feng, and it seemed like he wouldn't be coming back anymore. Chang Xian couldn't get over it, and she couldn't help but recall all the memories she had with Qin Feng. "Don't disgust me. Why don't you take a look at yourself in the mirror? Can you even compare to 1/10 of Qin Feng?" Chang Xian snapped out of her daze and yelled at Qin Feng. Even Qin Feng was baffled by her sudden outburst. "Professor Chang Xian, do you know what you are talking about?" Qin Feng was still in a daze. When he lived with Chang Xian and Hua Yin, both of them were always against him. They would never compliment him in front of him. Why did Chang Xian change so much after not seeing him for half a month? Of course I know what I am talking about. I said that you and Qin Feng are like heaven and earth. You are the toad on the ground. Don't ever compare yourself to Qin Feng. You are not a match for him. Chang Xian didn't know why she was so angry all of a sudden. She had no one to talk to for half a month. She could only look at the moon every night and digest the grievances and anger that had been bottled up in her stomach. When Qiao Feng mentioned Qin Feng, Chang Xian exploded and vented all her pent-up anger. Qiao Feng was the unlucky one who happened to bump into the muzzle of a gun. However, Qiao Feng didn't think that he was unlucky at all. Not only was he not angry, but he was also very happy. Chang Xian's taste was getting better and better. Haha, you're right. How can I be compared to Qin Feng? Teacher Qin Feng is like a god descended from the heavens, a peerless genius. I dare say that no one in the whole of China can be compared to Qin Feng. Qin Feng was never soft-hearted when it came to torturing his enemies, and never soft-hearted when it came to praising himself. Chang Xian's mouth was slightly agape as she stared at Xiao Feng with a dumbfounded expression. After a long while, she managed to squeeze out a few words. Are you crazy? Hee, Professor Chang Xian, how can you say that? You didn't do that kind of thing with me, so you can't just slander me like that. Qin Feng blushed and said shyly. Chang Xian was stunned for a moment. It took her a long time to regain her composure. She was so angry that her face turned pale. You're crazy. You're crazy. Chang Xian didn't want to waste her breath with Xiao Feng. She thought that Xiao Feng was crazy. Chang Xian quickened her pace and headed to the medical college. She wanted to bring Qin Feng to the medical college as soon as possible so that she wouldn't talk to an idiot like him anymore. Chang Xian kept a straight face, and Qin Feng didn't want to disturb her. He deliberately slowed down his pace and followed behind Chang Xian, admiring the way Chang Xian's sexy buttocks swayed as she walked. At the same time, outside the classroom of Provincial Capital University's Medical College, 3 teams occupied their respective corners and formed a triangular formation. It was as if the 3 countries were competing for hegemony. The 3 teams consisted of students from Class 1, Class 2, and the 5 elite exchange students from the St. Medical College. The news that the 5 exchange students from the St. Medical College defeated Class 1 of the medical college had spread like wildfire in the campus. However, the exchange meeting didn't officially start yesterday, so Willis and the other 4 students could only leave in a huff. Today was the first day of the exchange meeting, and the 5 of them came to the medical college again to slap the face of the medical college. Lu Jia, do you guys still have the cheek to stand up for me? I'm really stunned by your shamelessness. Your class has disgraced the medical school and the reputation of Kyoto University. Hurry up and get lost. Don't come back and slap the face of the medical school again. I'm starting to suspect that you've been bribed by the other party and are spies here, right? Gao Tianyao stood at the forefront of Class 2. He wore a white tang suit and held a wooden fan in his hand. He looked at the students from Class 1 with a playful smile on his face. Lu Jia and Hua Yin stood at the forefront of Class 1 and glared at Gao Tianyao angrily. Gao Tianyao was the leader of the 4 young masters of Provincial Capital University. Before Qin Feng's arrival, no one had ever dared to offend Gao Tianyao. Even Lu Jia had to swallow his anger in front of Gao Tianyao. Even when Gao Tianyao slapped him in front of everyone in class, Lu Jia did not dare to retaliate. However, everything changed after Qin Feng's arrival. Lu Jia was no longer the cowardly Lu Jia, and the medical college's Class 1 was no longer a disunited class. They were united and had a new soul. Even if Qin Feng was gone, the strongest class would still exist as long as the new soul was still there. Shut up, Gao Tianyao. Why didn't I see you shouting and fighting when Professor Qin Feng was here? Now you're showing off in front of everyone? What a disgrace. Lu Jia pointed at Gao Tianyao and rebuked him. Gao Tianyao's face turned ashen. How could a piece of trash like Lu Jia talk back to him? It was all because of Qin Feng. Gao Tianyao hated Qin Feng the most. Qin Feng was the bad guy who dragged him down from his pedestal. But soon, Gao Tianyao burst into unbridled laughter. Ha ha ha, Qin Feng? Where is he? Why don't you call him out and let me have a look at him? Without Qin Feng's support, your class is just a pile of dog shit. I don't even have the desire to step on you guys. Before Willis and the other 4 could challenge the medical college students, they saw the students from the 2 classes fighting among themselves. The 4 male students shook their heads and sighed. Their eyes were filled with disdain. They became more and more disappointed in the medical college of Provincial Capital University. How could a medical college like this be ranked among the top 3 in Huaxia Chinese Medicine Academy? It was even worse than a diploma mill. Someone fainted. Someone in the crowd suddenly shouted, attracting everyone's attention. Soon, the medical college students parted to form a small path. A plump girl was lying on the ground. Her body was twitching uncontrollably. It was a frightening sight. What's going on? Is she suffering from a heat stroke? A student guessed. What's wrong with you? It's almost the winter solstice. Why don't you show me a heat stroke? A student retorted. The student who said that he suffered from a heat stroke was embarrassed. His face turned red. After a while, he shouted again. Who said that heat stroke is related to summer? It's caused by excessive heat. Look at that plump girl. She's wearing such a thick, cotton-padded jacket in the middle of the crowd. She must have fainted from the heat. The student's mouth twitched. He didn't know how to refute. Her body is twitching more and more violently. Hurry up and call an ambulance. Some of the more timid girls were scared out of their wits. They took out their cell phones and were about to call 119. I'm afraid it's too late to call an ambulance. Which male student is willing to carry this girl to the school's infirmary with me? A well-built man came to the side of the fainted girl. After he said that, he turned around and found that the group of people who were standing behind him had all taken 3 steps back, directly separating him from the fainted girl. The man was very angry at the student's cold attitude. He decided to carry the girl to the infirmary alone. However, as soon as he lifted the girl who had fainted, the strong man's neck turned red. He hurriedly put the girl back on the ground. He thought to himself, "Isn't this girl a little too heavy? I almost forgot. My mom is still waiting for me to come home for dinner." After putting the girl on the ground, the well-built man ran away. This dramatic scene stunned the students of both classes. Willis and the other 4 were also dumbfounded. However, they quickly came back to their senses. Without saying a word, the 5 of them surrounded the girl and squatted down. This student isn't suffering from a heat stroke. She might be having an epileptic seizure. The golden-haired man, Owen, carefully examined the girl and concluded, I agree with Owen. It's probably epilepsy. There's an 80% chance. After Owen made his judgment, the well-built black man, Peter, and the bespectacled man, Jack, nodded in agreement. Owen continued, looking at this student's condition, she should have been suffering from epilepsy for a long time. This seizure is more serious. I estimate it will last for 5 minutes. Epilepsy is one of the most common diseases. It can only be controlled with surgery and medication. Owen is right. There's nothing we can do about this disease. We can only send her to the hospital as soon as possible. Willis nodded in agreement. Sigh. Let's see if this student is lucky enough to make it to the hospital. Owen sighed softly and shook his head. The 4 boys squatted on the ground and expressed their opinions. Their opinions were clear and logical, but none of them squatted down to treat the girl. That was because the 4 of them received Western medicine education from the St. Medical College. To their knowledge, patients with epilepsy could only be treated with surgery and medication. The possibility of recovery was very low, and they had no idea what to do at the moment. Avril did not say a word from the beginning to the end. Her eyes were a little unfocused, and no one knew what she was thinking. What are you guys doing? You're squatting here and talking nonsense to the patients, but none of you are treating the patients. Is this the Western medicine that the St. Medical University has taught you? Gao Tianyao suddenly stepped forward and looked at Owen and the other 4 with his head held high. The 5 of them were unhappy and stood up. Peter, the black man, took a step forward, glared at Gao Tianyao and shouted, Don't talk nonsense if you don't know anything, kid. This student is having an epileptic seizure. Are you trying to treat her without medical equipment? You Chinese really like to brag. Chapter 593. Gao Tianyao's family was one of the 5 small families in the provincial capital. It was also a traditional martial arts family. Gao Tianyao had been trained by his family to practice martial arts since he was young. All kinds of cultivation resources were given to him. Therefore, he broke through to stage 4 enrich at a young age. It was also because Gao Tianyao grew up in an ancient martial arts family that he knew about medicinal herbs from a young age and had accumulated a lot of medical knowledge. If Hua Yin was the best Chinese medicine practitioner in the provincial capital's first class, then the genius Chinese medicine practitioner in the second class would be Gao Tianyao. Although Gao Tianyao was arrogant and liked to bully others, he had a solid foundation in Chinese medicine. This was undeniable. You can't cure her, but that doesn't mean I can't either. Western medicine can't cure her, but it doesn't mean Chinese medicine can't cure her. Gao Tianyao spoke in an enigmatic manner as he slowly walked toward Peter. Peter's face turned red with anger. He glared at Gao Tianyao and asked, "Who are you, kid? Can you save this student?" "Black Devil, you don't even know the head of our provincial capital's 4 young masters, Gao Tianyao. How dare you say you've been to the university? There's no patient that our young master can't cure. Do you understand?" Gao Tianyao's 2 lackeys ran out at the right time and praised Gao Tianyao to the heavens. Gao Tianyao was very satisfied with his 2 lackeys' performance. He smiled brightly and said, "Of course I can cure this student. Stand aside and don't block my way." Gao Tianyao raised his head and glared at Pete. Pete was so angry that he gritted his teeth. Before Pete could do anything, the blonde, curly-haired Owen pulled Pete and said, "Let him do it. I don't believe he can cure an epileptic here. When he kills the patient, he will hit his own face. We don't even have to do anything." "Humph. I'll see how you're going to cure her." Peter obviously agreed with Owen. He immediately took a step back and made way for Gao Tianyao. Gao Tianyao's face became even more smug when he saw Peter taking a step back. His arrogant look would make anyone want to slap him in the face. Gao Tianyao squatted down beside the epileptic girl and carefully examined her. He found that the girl's epileptic symptoms were more severe. He didn't know if she could hold on until the ambulance arrived. Gao Tianyao pushed the girl to lie down to prevent her violent convulsions from causing bruises and bruises. Then, he loosened the girl's collar so that she could breathe normally. He pushed her head to the side so that she could vomit more easily. Although Gao Tianyao was usually arrogant and tyrannical, he did have a solid foundation in Chinese medicine. The expressions of the 5 people from St. Secondary Medical College changed as soon as they saw his series of actions. They became serious. The 5 looked carefully and found that Yao's movements were correct. They were very familiar. Gao Tianyao's movements. His movements were effective. Yun's Gao's Gao Tianyao. However, it could only assist in the treatment. It was impossible to wake up an epileptic with this little bit of skill. Gao Tianyao's actions stirred up the onlookers. They knew that Gao Tianyao was going to get back at them. Although Gao Tianyao had a bad reputation and was too arrogant, this was a special time. The medical college students forgot about their conflicts and unhappiness. Even Lu Jie was looking forward to Gao Tianyao waking up the fainted girl. This was because Qin Feng had taught the students to put aside their internal conflicts when facing an external enemy. They had to unite and face the external enemy together. Blarg. Suddenly, the girl vomited even more violently. Her body convulsed more violently, and she even began to roll her eyes. This sudden situation shocked Gao Tianyao. He thought that the girl would recover after a while, but he didn't expect that the girl's condition would worsen after a while. Beads of sweat appeared on Gao Tianyao's forehead. He quickly took out a row of silver needles. The silver needles were placed on the ground, and the eyes of Owen and the other 3 lit up. Could this be the legendary acupuncture? Traditional Chinese medicine? Avril's heart raced. Her eyes burned as she stared at the silver needles on the ground. No one knew what she was thinking. Gao Tianyao grabbed the silver needles in his hand and quickly inserted them into the girl's acupoints. However, the girl was convulsing violently, so Gao Tianyao pulled out the silver needles as soon as he inserted them into the acupoints. It was obvious that he had inserted them in the wrong spots. Shoo! Gao Tianyao inserted the silver needles again, but they were pulled out by Gao Tianyao again. Due to the girl's severe seizures, her body was trembling nonstop, and Gao Tianyao's accuracy and agility were still lacking. Therefore, he couldn't accurately insert the silver needles into the girl's acupoints. Gao Tianyao repeatedly inserted the silver needles, inserted them, and then pulled them out. He was so anxious that his back was drenched in sweat. Fortunately, the girl had fainted and was unconscious. Otherwise, how would she feel if she saw this scene? In short, when everyone saw Gao Tianyao insert the silver needles into the girl's body, they felt that it was very cruel. Some of them even suspected that Gao Tianyao had a grudge against the girl in the past. Was he here to take revenge on her with the silver needles? Haha, is this Huaxia traditional Chinese medicine? Acupuncture and moxibustion? I almost died of laughter. Owen couldn't help but burst into laughter when he saw this. Peter, the black man, also vented his anger. When he saw Gao Tianyao's nervous expression, he laughed playfully. Haha. Is this your way of treating epilepsy? This trick is really effective. After you stab this person to death, she won't have epilepsy anymore. Ha ha ha. Willis and Jack were amused by Peter's words. They really didn't expect a black and strong man like Peter to be able to tell corny jokes. Faced with the ridicule of the St. Medic Institute's exchange students, the medical students from Class 1 and Class 2 didn't retort. They didn't know how to retort because this battle had indeed been ruined by Gao Tianyao, the pretentious trafficker. He had pricked the girl to such a state. In fact, the medical students also wanted to laugh. Gao Tianyao was already nervous enough. Now that he heard the ridicule of Willis and the others, he couldn't wait anymore. Gao Tianyao felt his face was burning hot as if he had been slapped dozens of times. Gao Tianyao's eyes suddenly turned cold. He grabbed the thickest silver needle and stabbed it into the student's head with clenched teeth. Fuck, I don't believe that I can't hit you. Gao Tianyao's eyes were bloodshot as if he was possessed. He had indeed reached a state of madness. He had even forgotten his original purpose of using the silver needle. Gao Tianyao was not trying to save the girl. He just wanted to prove that he could put the silver needle into the girl's acupoint. If the needle were to fall, the girl on the ground would probably be pricked into a lunatic. Who the fuck is holding me back? The silver needle in Gao Tianyao's hand landed on the girl's head. It was less than a centimeter away from her scalp, but Gao Tianyao's hand suddenly stopped. It wasn't because he wanted to stop, but because someone had grabbed him. Gao Tianyao roared angrily. He was the leader of the 4 young masters of Provincial Capital University. Who the fuck would dare to stop him? Not to mention that Gao Tianyao was a stage 4 inner chi martial artist. How many people in Jindu University could stop him? However, Gao Tianyao's hand was suspended in the air, and he couldn't move an inch. Even if he circulated all the inner chi in his body, he still couldn't break free from the hand that was grabbing his arm. Gao Tianyao was enraged. He turned around and looked at the person who grabbed him. It was an extremely ordinary face. Gao Tianyao stared at it for a long time. He was afraid that he would forget this face in the blink of an eye. Fuck, don't you understand what I said? I told you to let go of me. Gao Tianyao roared angrily. Qin Feng tightened his grip slightly. With a smile on his face, he said in the tone of a senior educating a junior student, "How can you talk to me like that? Do you know who I am?" Gao Tianyao felt a sharp pain in his arm. It was so painful that he wanted to scream. However, there were so many people watching them. Gao Tianyao endured the pain until his neck turned red. Who are you? Let go of me first. Qin Feng didn't let go of Gao Tianyao. Gao Tianyao was the reason why he was expelled. Now that he saw Gao Tianyao, Qin Feng wanted to teach him a lesson. This brat was going to rebel. He almost stabbed a female student until she became an idiot. Listen carefully, brat. I'm Qiao Feng, a Chinese medicine lecturer at Provincial Capital University Medical College. Qin Feng introduced himself in a majestic manner. He felt like a leader of a country introducing himself. The noisy environment suddenly fell silent, as if the sound of a pin dropping could be heard. Everyone looked at Qiao Feng as if they had dementia. A Chinese medicine lecturer at a medical college? Is this guy here to steal teacher Qin Feng's job? Does this mean that teacher Qin Feng won't come back? That's great. No teacher will steal the prettiest girl from us anymore. Qin Feng didn't know what these students were thinking. Otherwise, he would have been infuriated. Qin Feng's hand was like a pair of pliers. He didn't let go of Gao Tianyao's arm. Gao Tianyao used all his strength, but he couldn't free himself from Qin Feng's grip. Who are you? Gao Tianyao's teeth chattered in pain. He felt that Qin Feng was going to crush his arm. Gao Tianyao calmed down. He was sure that this ordinary-looking man was not an ordinary man. What kind of monster was he to be able to trap him with one hand? Student, are you deaf? I told you I'm a new Chinese medicine lecturer at Provincial Capital University Medical College. Don't you remember? Qin Feng tightened his grip as he spoke. P.S. June is the season of harvest. I've written Hedonist Sovereign for almost a year, and it's time to reap the rewards. I hope everyone will continue to support me. Thank you very much. In June, I guarantee 3 chapters every day. More monthly votes, more gifts, and more breakouts. As long as you're a subscriber, you'll get a free monthly vote at the beginning of the month. I hope everyone will vote for young Master Du. This is very important to him. Chapter 594. Ouch! Gao Tianyao's blood-curdling screams reverberated in the air. Ouch! Ouch! Gao Tianyao's screams were so tragic that they shook the heavens and the earth. The students covered their ears with their hands as they stared at Gao Tianyao, who was kneeling in front of Qiao Feng. They never knew that this kid had the talent to be a best actor. Qin Feng was also shocked. He quickly released Gao Tianyao's arm and took 3 steps back before he patted his chest and steadied himself. Oh my God! Today is my first day here. Oh my God! It's my first day here. It's really an eye-opener. I didn't expect that there would be a student from the performance department of the Medical College of Kyoto University. I just grabbed your arm. Isn't your acting a bit too exaggerated? You all saw it just now. I didn't do anything. If this kid dares to blackmail me, everyone must testify for Professor Qiaofeng. Qin Feng's performance was impressive. Chang Xian crossed her arms in front of her chest and stood at the side expressionlessly. Gao Tianyao was sweating profusely from the pain. It was as if he was drenched in a heavy rain. The students admired Gao Tianyao's acting skills from the bottom of their hearts. A true best actor could control every pore on one's body to the extent that one could not shed a tear even if one wanted to sweat. You've gone too far. I'm from the Gao family in the provincial capital. If you have the guts, tell me your family's name. I'll go and find you. Gao Tianyao was tricked by Qin Feng, and everyone thought he was acting. Gao Tianyao was so angry that he spat blood. He remembered that he had only suffered in the hands of 2 people since he was born. One was Qin Feng, who was chased away, and the other was this ordinary man standing before him. You want to seek revenge from my family? Don't make it so complicated. Just get rid of me first. Qin Feng did not take Gao Tianyao's threats seriously. He kicked Gao Tianyao, who was sitting on the ground, and sent him flying. Gao Tianyao fell heavily on the ground a dozen meters away. He screamed in pain. His lackeys were scared out of their wits. They rushed to check on their boss. Gao Tianyao was sent flying, but everyone's souls had yet to return. He was the young master of the Gao family in the provincial capital. Why was he kicked away like a dead dog? Qin Feng didn't care about these people's expressions and thoughts. He was already crouching on the ground and quickly checking on the fat girl's condition. The situation is very serious. Fortunately, I'm here. If it were someone else, they wouldn't be able to save him. After examining the girl's condition, Qin Feng began to mutter to himself. All he said were words of praise. Qin Feng waved his hand and prepared to buy a set of silver needles from the system to show off. However, he discovered that he had temporarily lost contact with the system and there was still no response. Qin Feng sneaked a peek at his surroundings. He noticed that the students were still immersed in the shock of Gao Tianyao's kick. None of them noticed his embarrassing failure. Qin Feng felt relieved. He picked up the silver needles that Gao Tianyao had placed on the ground and waved them. Whoosh! Qin Feng's hands rose and fell, bringing along a gust of wind. He held 6 long needles in each of his hands and inserted them into 6 acupoints on the girl's body. Qin Feng's technique was simple and clean, without any fancy moves. The girl's body trembled even more violently than before. Earlier, Gao Tianyao was unable to insert needles into her body, but Qin Feng was able to insert 6 needles at the same time. It was easy to tell who was stronger between the 2 of them. Boom! The onlookers were in an uproar. Putting aside whether Qin Feng could really save the girl, his beautiful acupuncture technique was enough to shock everyone. He's so handsome. I've fallen in love with this new teacher. What should I do? I'm tempted too. Did you guys notice that even though he's not as handsome as teacher Qin Feng, he's very similar to teacher Qin Feng in other aspects? Qin Feng heard all the discussions in the crowd. He couldn't help but feel nervous when some students began to compare him with Qin Feng. The 5 exchange students from the St. Medical Institute were also dumbfounded. They didn't expect Provincial Capital University to have such a powerful Chinese medicine teacher. Moreover, Qin Feng was a new teacher. After a brief moment of absent-mindedness, Qin Feng once again focused on treating the girl. Qin Feng had obtained the Book of 100 Herbs and the 5 Elemental Acupuncture Technique through the system's mission. The 5 Elemental Acupuncture Technique was extensive and profound. Qin Feng could cure both common and rare diseases. Moreover, when Qin Feng's realm reached a higher level, it would no longer be a myth for him to bring the dead back to life and regrow flesh and bones. Soon, 12 silver needles were inserted into the girl's body. Qin Feng stopped. He only had the longest needle left in his hand, but he didn't hurry to insert it. It was as if he was waiting for something. Everyone held their breath as if the silver needles in Qin Feng's hand could control their breathing. As long as Qin Feng didn't insert the needle, no one dared to take a deep breath. Whoosh! Qin Feng's movement was too fast. Before anyone could figure out how he inserted the needle, the longest needle had already pierced into the girl's neck near the artery. Buzz! Buzz, buzz, buzz. When the last needle was inserted, a strange chain reaction occurred. The 12 silver needles that were inserted into the girl's body began to vibrate on their own. Including the last needle, there were a total of 13 silver needles vibrating rapidly. The sound of wind whistling could be heard. Many timid girls were so frightened that they almost cried. This is the Needle of Fate? The new teacher can also use the Needle of Fate? He's as powerful as Teacher Qin Feng. The crowd was in an uproar again. Previously, Qin Feng used the 5 Elemental Acupuncture Technique to treat Professor Ling Qing Yuan, who had a heart attack. It was also at that time that many students heard of the term Needle of Fate. Now that they saw the silver needles vibrating on their own, the students were speechless. Needle of Fate? It's really the Needle of Fate. I didn't expect him to be so powerful. So what if he's powerful? Chang Xian, who was standing outside the crowd, was also shocked. However, she quickly cursed Qiao Feng. It was obvious that she still held a deep grudge against Qiao Feng. From this, one could see how important the first impression was. Owen, what's that? Peter, the brawny black man, was petrified by the scene before him. After a long time, he asked weakly, Owen, what's that? Owen was also dumbfounded. He couldn't even answer Peter's question because he had no idea what it was. Willis and Jack were still in a daze. They stared thoughtfully at the silver needles that were vibrating on the girl with epilepsy. The expression on Avril's beautiful face was unpredictable. One moment, she was pleasantly surprised. The next, she was worried. No one knew what she was thinking. After Qin Feng inserted the last needle, he stood up and leisurely leaned against a tree. He stole a glance at the beautiful girl in the short skirt in the crowd as if nothing had happened. Cough, cough. The silver needles vibrated on their own for more than 2 minutes, and the girl's convulsions disappeared. Suddenly, she coughed violently and woke up. She looked at the students around her with a puzzled expression. Why are you guys staring at me? Why am I lying on the ground? Don't tell me you guys are going to PK me? When the students heard what the chubby girl said, they were so scared that they immediately took 3 steps back. They were afraid that the chubby girl would misunderstand. When Qin Feng saw that the girl had woken up, he walked to her side and examined her body. He nodded and said, You're fine now. Your epilepsy won't happen again. Of course, if you don't believe me, you can go to the hospital for a checkup. That way, you'll feel more at ease. Really? Has my epilepsy been completely cured by you? Thank you so much. I believe you. I won't go to the hospital for a checkup. If you say I'm fine, then I'm fine. The chubby girl stared at Qin Feng with an excited expression. Her stare made Qin Feng break out in a cold sweat. Handsome, you saved my life, but I still don't know your name. Student, please pay attention. I'm the new Chinese medicine teacher at the medical college, Qiao Feng. Qin Feng's expression became stern. He was afraid that the girl couldn't resist his talent and handsomeness and would suddenly give him a bear hug. Wow. So you're the new Chinese medicine teacher. No wonder your medical skills are so good. You saved my life this time, but I don't have anything to repay you. Otherwise I'll repay you with my body. Qin Feng hurriedly interrupted the girl and said righteously, Student, please don't say any more. What kind of person do you think I, Xiaofeng, am? Do you think I saved you because of money or beauty? I, Xiaofeng, have an illustrious reputation, and my medical skills are unparalleled. I always remember the duties that a doctor should have. Saving lives and helping the injured is my duty. You must not thank me, or else you will be insulting my spirit and beliefs. Qin Feng's words were clear and logical. The chubby girl was so moved that she was about to cry. She hesitated for a while, but in the end, she didn't say that she would repay him with her body. Seeing that the chubby girl ran away shyly, Qin Feng finally let out a sigh of relief. He was almost scared to death just now. After the student ran away for a while, the rest of the students slowly came back to their senses. However, the shock in everyone's eyes had not completely faded. Many of them still felt like they were dreaming. Did the medical college win this battle? Professor Xiaofeng, you're so handsome. You're our idol. Professor Xiaofeng, are you our new Chinese medicine teacher? We like you so much. Qin Feng was suddenly surrounded by hundreds of students. These students were indescribably excited when they learned that Qin Feng had helped the medical college turn the tables. Qin Feng's face was full of pride. He thought that a capable and talented person, even if he changed his appearance, would still inadvertently become the focus of everyone and be worshipped and admired by people. I heard that your previous Professor Qin Feng was also very outstanding. He just left not long ago, and you guys are already trying to please me like this. If he knew, he would be very sad, right? Qin Feng said with a smile. SK, you're talking about that heartbreaker. It's good that he's gone. Then, no one will fight with us for the campus bell. Professor Qin Feng is too handsome. We feel too inferior when we're with him. Professor Xiaofeng, you're more perfect. You look so ordinary that I still can't remember your appearance. Listening to the students' chatter, the corner of Qin Feng's mouth twitched. He didn't know whether he should be happy or sad. Some people were happy, while others were sad. Provincial Capital University's medical college won the battle, and everyone was shouting and celebrating. On the other side stood 5 lonely figures, as if they had been forgotten in a corner at the end of the century. P.S. Second update, begging for monthly votes. Begging for monthly votes. Begging for monthly votes. Chapter 595. Owen, what should we do now? This is so fucking frustrating. Peter walked to Owen's side and glared at the students who were reveling in the party. Willis and Jack also gathered around Owen. The 4 of them looked at each other, and none of them had a good idea. We lost this battle. Let's go. Don't embarrass yourself. Avril, who had been silent, walked past the 4 of them. Her light voice fell into the 4's ears. The 4 of them looked reluctant and helpless. However, when they saw the students who were reveling in the party, they could only lower their heads and prepare to leave. Wait, Qin Feng suddenly called out to them before the 5 of them had gone far. The 5 of them stopped and turned to look at Qin Feng. The 4 boys all had a trace of anger in their eyes. Peter, the brawny black man, stepped forward, glared at Qin Feng, and shouted, "What else do you want?" Peter's attitude was very arrogant. He didn't look like a loser at all. The students from Provincial Capital University were unhappy. They all rushed to Qin Feng and reprimanded Peter and the others. You're still so arrogant after losing this time? You can't cure epileptics, but our teacher Xiaofeng can. I'm going to piss you off. Didn't you brag yesterday about how amazing your country's Western medicine is? Now it seems that it's just so. It can't even cure epilepsy. How embarrassing. Let's see if you still dare to look down on Chinese medicine and Chinese acupuncture. Now you know how amazing we are. To tell you the truth, Teacher Xiaofeng's medical skills are the worst in the Chinese medicine world. He doesn't even have the qualifications to carry the shoes of those Chinese medicine masters. You can't even beat his rubbish medical skills, and you still have the nerve to look down on our medical college? The hot-blooded students looked at Avril and the others proudly, as if they had returned from a victory. However, Qin Feng's face darkened. He really wanted to drag out the student who slandered him and ask him if he thought about his feelings when he was bragging. What's there to be proud of? The man who treated you just now should be a teacher from your medical college, right? You're so happy that a teacher won against a student? Isn't that normal? Owen suddenly retorted. Willis's eyes lit up as well, and he added, "Oh, I get it. Your provincial capital university's medical school can't produce elite students who are as good as the five of us, so you sent out teachers to fight us. Your school is really shameless to do something like this." That's right, that's right. What's there to be proud of when a teacher defeated us? What a joke. Peter and Jack also came back to their senses and retorted. Seeing that these exchange students were starting to be arrogant again, the medical school students were very unhappy. However, everyone opened and closed their mouths, but they were so sullen that they could not say anything. This was because everyone realized that what Willis and the others said was the truth, and they even seemed to be very reasonable. They really did not know how to refute. Heh, why aren't you saying anything? Weren't they cheering happily at the front? You're embarrassed now, aren't you? Seeing that the students from the medical college had calmed down, the four guys on Owen's side became arrogant again. Are the five of you the exchange students sent by the St. Second Medical Institute? Qin Feng seemed to not hear Owen's arrogance as he sized up the five of them. It was Qin Feng who stopped the five of them just now. The reason why Qin Feng stopped them was because he wanted to see how the five of them were doing. Perhaps the members sent by the William family were among the five exchange students. The five of us are the elite students sent by the St. Second Medical Institute. We were selected after a strict assessment and selection process. Owen was still a little shocked by Qin Feng's acupuncture skills, but he and the others would not show their emotions in front of Qin Feng. Instead, they looked at Qin Feng arrogantly. Qin Feng did not care whether these people were elite or not. He did not care if they were selected or had slept with someone. Qin Feng continued to ask, "Where's the representative of your teachers? Why don't I see them?" Qin Feng had already sized up the five of them, but he did not notice anything unusual. Apart from the fact that the foreign girl was very beautiful and her breasts were more spectacular than billowy ladies, Qin Feng did not think that these five students had anything to do with the William family. It was said that the William family placed a lot of importance on this secret infiltration into China and sent experts. The five people in front of him all looked like students and were about the same age as Qin Feng. It didn't seem like there were experts among them. What do you want to ask? Owen and the others were a little angry after being ignored by Qin Feng. I didn't ask anything. I just want to know where the exchange students are. They're having an exchange with the teachers from your university. Don't change the topic. St. Medical College didn't lose the competition just now because you guys cheated. Owen changed the topic. He was not interested in Qin Feng's question at all. Qin Feng's expression gradually became serious. He looked at Owen and the others and asked, "How old are you this year?" The corner of Owen's mouth twitched. He could not keep up with Qin Feng's random question. However, he still replied snappily, "The five of us are in our early 20s. Then, how old do I look?" Owen carefully sized up Qin Feng's face and said with a pout, "Over 40. Qin Feng's face immediately darkened, and he almost beat Owen up. "What's wrong with your eyes? I'm also in my early 20s, okay? We're about the same age, and I'm even younger than that black bear, okay? That black bear should be in his 30s, right?" Qin Feng was infuriated by Owen, so he transferred his anger to Peter. Peter was so angry that his nostrils flared when he heard he was in his 30s. However, Willis, Owen, and the others didn't have much of an expression because when they first saw Peter, they really thought he was in his 30s. That's how he looked. Don't talk nonsense. I'm only 21. I'm the youngest among the five of us. Peter glared at Qin Feng angrily. Qin Feng said with a disapproving expression, "It doesn't matter how old you are. What's important is that we're all in our early 20s. We're about the same age. Oh yeah, does the sexy beauty beside you have a boyfriend? Do you need me to introduce him to her?" As Qin Feng spoke, his gaze fell on Avril. This woman's figure was too voluptuous, and he could not help but stare at her chest. Avril's expression turned cold. She glared at Qin Feng and said, "Sorry, you don't have to worry about my matters. What do you want to say? If there's nothing else, we'll leave first," Avril said as she prepared to leave. Qin Feng put away his smile and continued to say, "You guys are about the same age as me, and there should be a few who are older than me. I'm a teacher, and you guys are students. Just because of this professional identity, does it not count if I beat you guys?" Avril and the other four suddenly stopped in their tracks, and their expressions changed strangely. Qin Feng acted as if he did not see this and continued to say, China has a large population, and there are many talented people. There are countless teachers who are younger than me, and they are all younger than you. If their medical skills are better than yours, does it mean that because they are teachers, their excellence does not count? Then how do you choose the so-called elites of the Saint Medical Institute? Do you choose them based on your age or your level of Western medicine? If you guys think that my medical skills are better than yours don't count because I'm a teacher, then if I resign now and become a student in a medical institute, will you guys acknowledge my victory? Haha, everyone. See? This is the elite exchange student delegation of the Saint Medical Institute. How laughable they are. Qin Feng had always been an unreasonable person, but he especially liked to reason with others. With just a few words, Qin Feng had made the 5 exchange students of the Saint Medical Institute dumbfounded. The 5 of them were still in the same posture as when they turned around, and they looked at Qin Feng as if they had senile dementia. The students of the medical institute were also dumbfounded. They raised their heads and looked at Qin Feng with sparkling eyes, especially the female students. It was as if they had seen their Prince Charming, and they were all infatuated with him. They were hopeless. Provincial Capital University's Medical Institute had just lost a genius teacher, Qin Feng, and now a genius teacher, Xiao Feng, had arrived. You're right. We've learned our lesson. The Saint Medical Institute has lost this time, Avril suddenly said after a long while. After a long while, Avril suddenly spoke. Her voice was neither cold nor warm, and there was no emotion on her pretty face. The other 4 exchange students looked at Avril with displeasure. They hadn't expected her to suddenly say something like that. However, they couldn't say anything in response to Avril's words, other than feeling angry. Although Willis and the other 3 were unwilling to admit defeat, they had no choice but to do so after listening to Qin Feng's words. You said that you guys have lost. May I ask, how did you lose? Qin Feng looked at Avril and asked. Avril didn't answer. Owen suddenly said, We couldn't save the epilepsy patient, but you used Chinese traditional medicine to wake her up. We have lost this round. Qin Feng's calm expression turned into anger. His eyes turned red as if they were about to shoot out flames. He glared at Owen and said word by word, You think you've lost because your medical skills are inferior to mine? Moreover, you're unwilling to admit defeat? But in my opinion, it's a small matter that your medical skills aren't good enough. You're still young, and as long as you work hard, you'll make a name for yourself in the medical field sooner or later. You've lost because you've forgotten the fundamentals of medicine. When you surrounded the epileptic patient and pointed at her, proudly commenting on the cause of the student's illness and talking about her various symptoms, have you ever thought of letting go of this learning exchange, let go of this medical competition and reputation, and call the ambulance as soon as possible to help the student, or carry her to the school's infirmary for emergency treatment? Who do you think you are? Why do you study medicine? Even if you won today's competition, even if your Saint Medical Institute won this exchange, so what? If I came a little later, that student might not even exist. What's the point of winning? Can you feel at ease? Don't forget that the fundamentals of medicine are to save the dying and help the injured. P.S. It's about to fall out of the monthly votes list. Begging for monthly votes. Chapter 596. Qin Feng's witty words flowed like pearls without pause. He spoke very well, and the exchange students all lowered their heads, looking like children who had done something wrong. His words were so touching that many of the students in the medical school shed tears. They felt that it was shameful and hateful that they didn't go up to help the strong male student carry the epileptic girl to the infirmary. Qin Feng had this kind of ability. When he talked about great principles, even he was moved to tears by himself. We've lost, and we accept our defeat wholeheartedly. Avril looked at Qin Feng again, and the light in her eyes changed. We've lost. We've really lost this round. You're very powerful. I'll challenge you personally in the upcoming exchange. The remaining 4 male students also admitted defeat one by one. Moreover, their attitudes were completely different from before. Qin Feng's sharp words struck something deep in their hearts, and they felt as if they had been enlightened. Owen even issued a letter of challenge to Qin Feng. Although he didn't say it on the surface, he had already regarded Qin Feng as the strongest opponent in this exchange. The students of the medical college looked at Qin Feng with even more admiration and reverence. They realized that Professor Qiao Feng and Professor Qin Feng were becoming more and more alike. Both of them were freaking experts at picking up girls. In such a short time, Professor Qiao Feng had already captured the hearts of more than half of the female students in the medical college. Well said. Chang Xian, who had been standing in the distance, couldn't help but walk up to Qiao Feng and praise him. However, as soon as she finished praising Qiao Feng, Chang Xian regretted her words. Why did she say such things to him? Teacher Chang Xian, you're flattering me. I'm just expressing my feelings. It's nothing special. Oh right, Teacher Chang Xian, are you free tonight? On my way here, I found a willow path with a nice environment. Why don't we go for a walk tonight and chat? Qin Feng looked at Chang Xian with a smile. Chang Xian's expression suddenly turned cold. She glared at Qin Feng and yelled, I'm busy. Chang Xian turned around and left with the 5 members of Saint Secondary Medical Association. Qin Feng shook his head and sighed. A woman's heart is like a needle at the bottom of the ocean. Teacher Qiao Feng, Teacher Chang Xian isn't willing to accompany you to admire the flowers under the moonlight, but I'm willing to accompany you. Professor Qiao Feng, you mentioned earlier that you were a new Chinese medicine teacher in our medical college, right? That's great. I'll take you to the class to have a look. Teacher Qiao Feng, you just said so much. Are you feeling hot? Should I take off my jacket? Let me help you. The female students from the 2 classes of the medical college surrounded Qin Feng and chattered incessantly like little birds. Qin Feng stood among the flowers and looked at the different short skirts and beautiful legs of different lengths and thicknesses. He instinctively rubbed his nose to see if there was a nosebleed. Under everyone's enthusiastic reception, Qin Feng was brought to Class 1's classroom. The students of Class 1 took their seats and looked excitedly at Qin Feng on the stage. Qin Feng stood on the lectern and looked at the familiar faces below. He felt the sunlight pass through the window and fall on his handsome, now extremely ordinary face. He couldn't calm down for a long time. It was said that news traveled fast in university, but to Qin Feng, it was flying fast. He had just stood on the podium and put on a few poses that he thought were handsome and said some classic quotes that were purposely profound and suitable for picking up girls when a large group of people walked in. Ha ha ha. Professor Qiao Feng, you're really a promising young man. I can tell that you're a genius at first glance. It's true. The news of you defeating the exchange student from the St. Second Medical College has spread across the campus. Your performance this time was outstanding and helped Provincial Capital University to turn the tables and vent our anger. The first person to walk into the classroom was the principal of Provincial Capital University, Wang Zhonghua. Not long ago, Wang Zhonghua looked down on Qiao Feng in his office. He thought Qiao Feng was a bastard who used his connections to get free food and girls. Now, Wang Zhonghua's attitude changed. He praised Qin Feng as soon as he walked into the classroom, as if he was not the one who looked down on Qin Feng. After Principal Wang praised Qiao Feng, the dean of the medical college, Lu Feng, and many other professors followed the principal's words and praised Qiao Feng. Principal Wang, you're indeed sharp-eyed. Professor Qiao Feng has just arrived, and you can already tell that his medical skills and ethics are profound. Both of you are role models for us to learn from. That's right. We heard that Professor Qiao Feng defeated the exchange student, so we came here to congratulate him. It's our university's honor to have Professor Qiao Feng in Provincial Capital University. It's the students' fortune to have Professor Qiao Feng in the medical college. Qin Feng was almost praised as a saint by these old men. Professor Ling Qingyuan stood to the side and didn't come over to flatter Qiao Feng. However, Ling Qingyuan's eyes flickered, and he kept staring at Qin Feng. He looked from head to toe, and from tail to tail, scaring Qin Feng. This old man couldn't have taken a fancy to him, right? Principal Wang, seniors, I'm just a Chinese medicine teacher who has just arrived. How could I trouble all of you to come and congratulate me? Even if you're here to congratulate me, it's fine as long as you're here. Why do you have to give me gifts? I won't accept money if you're giving me gifts. Aren't you insulting me? Xiao Feng chuckled as he looked at the crowd. These people looked down on Qin Feng before, but now they came to fawn over him. It was only right for Qin Feng to trick them. Principal Wang and the other old professors were obviously stunned. However, Principal Wang quickly regained his senses and said, "Ha ha ha, Professor Xiao Feng, I almost forgot that you represented Provincial Capital University and defeated the exchange student from St. Second Medical College. You've helped Provincial Capital University regain its reputation, so I'll increase your bonus this month on behalf of Provincial Capital University. It'll be given to you together with your salary." Qin Feng was not short of money, so he just mentioned it casually. Since Wang Zhonghua was willing to give him a bonus, Qin Feng naturally would not refuse. Hee, it's the fortune of us teachers to have such a wise principal like Principal Wang. Qin Feng chuckled and nodded his head. Isn't that right? Principal Wang cherishes talents the most. He's definitely the wisest principal in Provincial Capital University. What a blessing. We're all blessed. The professors, deans, Qin Feng, and Principal Wang stood there and praised each other. The students were dumbstruck when they saw this scene. Were all the older people this shameless? Principal Wang chatted with Qin Feng for a while before remembering something else. Principal Wang hurriedly ran out of the classroom. Not long after, he ran back, but this time, there was a young man by his side. The young man had blonde hair and blue eyes. He exuded the noble aura of a prince. When the young man entered the classroom, all the girls in the classroom shrieked crazily. They completely disregarded the psychological trauma the other boys, Xiao Feng, and the old men were feeling. Wang Zhonghua felt as if his eardrums were about to burst. He quickly waved his hand to stop the screaming students, then led the young man to the podium. He smiled at Qin Feng and said, "Professor Xiao Feng, this is a transfer student who just arrived today. I'll put him in class 1. I believe that this student will only learn real things if he follows you. Oh, by the way, student, introduce yourself to everyone." The young man stood in the middle of the podium with a gentlemanly smile and prepared to introduce himself. Qin Feng's gaze fell on the young man's face. He carefully examined the young man as if he wanted to see through him. Qin Feng recognized this young man. Wasn't this Prince William from Ghost Mountain in the suburbs of the provincial capital? At that time, there was also a martial artist wrapped in a black cloth bag, but he didn't appear. "Hello, 9th year. My name is Prince Wei, and I come from Australia. I'm very pleased to be able to come to China to study and become a 9th year classmate. In the future, please take care of me." Prince William introduced himself in broken Chinese. After he finished his introduction, many of the students below the podium still had blank expressions. It was clear that they didn't understand what Prince Wei was saying. Qin Feng had experienced the power of Prince William's broken Chinese on Ghost Mountain. At that time, Prince William said, "Qin Feng killed his little brother Williams, so he wants Qin Feng's life." In the end, Qin Feng heard it as, "Qin Feng pierced his little brother William's hen, so he wants Qin Feng's dick." Qin Feng was very angry at that time. He clearly didn't pierce a hen, and he didn't have a dick. Was there something wrong with this foreigner's brain? Now that he heard Prince William's broken Chinese again, Qin Feng understood everything. This guy was introducing himself, but he changed his original name from Prince William to Prince Wei. He was clearly a member of the William family in America, but he said he was from Australia. Prince William was obviously hiding his identity. His actions made Qin Feng confirm that this person was one of the people sent by the William family to infiltrate China for a secret mission. Prince William still had his original appearance, but Qin Feng had changed his identity to Xiao Feng. Just thinking about it made Qin Feng excited. Ha ha ha. Everyone probably didn't understand Prince Wei's self-introduction, right? Then let me translate for everyone. This student is called Prince Wei. He said he came to China angrily. When he saw all of you, he thought you were all very unsophisticated. He won't be friends with you. Your statuses are too low, so don't expect to hang out with him. After Qin Feng translated Prince William's words, Principal Wang, the group of old men, and the 56 students in the audience were all shocked. They looked at Qin Feng with astonished expressions, as if they were questioning Qin Feng's translation skills. Qin Feng looked innocent and shrugged his shoulders. "Don't look at me like that. I translated from Prince Wei's original words. If you don't believe me, you can ask him. Prince Wei, you're very handsome. Am I right? Qin Feng smiled as he looked at Prince William. Prince William's Chinese was terrible, and when Qin Feng was translating, he deliberately spoke very fast, so Prince William didn't understand at all. Now, Qin Feng spoke very slowly, and he even praised Prince William for his handsomeness. Prince William immediately had a good impression of Qin Feng, and he gave a gentlemanly smile as he nodded at Qin Feng. Teacher, you're absolutely right. P.S. Thank you Nightstorm and Chi-Chi at Baiduhua Goddess for their tips. The two alliance masters of this book are both cute. Fourth update. I look forward to the birth of a new alliance master. Chapter 597. Teacher, you're absolutely right. Prince William's voice was cultured and refined. He had a trace of a scholar's aura. After he nodded at Qin Feng, he turned to look at his classmates in a daze. When Prince William entered the class, he heard the girls in the class cheering for him. Prince William thought that he was very attractive, so he was prepared to let these girls cheer for him crazily again. Fuck. You're just a little more handsome, have a higher nose bridge, prettier eyes, and golden hair. What's there to be proud of? You look down on us, and we look down on you. Some of the boys came to their senses and angrily criticized Prince William's arrogance. However, those boys spoke too quickly. Prince William was confused and thought that they were praising him. So, he continued to smile and looked at them. Damn you! How dare you sneer at us? Do you believe that I, your big brother, will go up and slap your handsome face into a dead pig's head? Let's see what else you can be proud of. Big brother Lu Jia. This guy is too despicable. I feel that he can compete with teacher Qin Feng. Say something. Should we kick him out? Many of the boys were very angry. They wanted to rush up to the podium and kick Prince William away. Those love-struck girls were also unhappy. They warmly welcomed Prince William's arrival. They didn't expect him to be so cold. Did he really think that he was a big star? TSK, I misjudged you. You look like Song Xiaobao. Who would want to be friends with you? Teacher Qiao Feng is better. Although he looks a little ordinary, at least no one remembers him after he commits a crime. You're so handsome. Do you dare to commit a crime? The boys were shouting fiercely. Many girls joined the boys in condemning Prince William's arrogant attitude. Seeing this scene, Qin Feng was very happy. However, Prince William felt that something was wrong. He quickly looked at Qin Feng and asked, Teacher Qiao Feng, they don't seem to like me. Qin Feng hurriedly patted Prince William's shoulder and said earnestly, Prince William, don't mind them. You're too handsome, and you're born with a noble aura. That's why some of the boys in our class are very envious of you. This is normal, so don't mind them. When Qin Feng spoke to Prince William, he deliberately spoke slowly. Prince William understood everything and became full of confidence. He raised his head and puffed out his chest as he stood on the podium like a proud duckling. Prince William's actions were like a demonstration to everyone. The boys were so angry that they almost threw their smelly shoes at the podium. In the end, they remembered that the principal and several deans and professors of the medical school were still there, so they could only give up on this terrible idea. Prince William was scolded by the students in the audience for a while, but he didn't understand. He thought that everyone was jealous of his good looks. Not only was he not angry, but he also had a smug expression on his face. Wang Zhonghua didn't know if Qiao Feng had a grudge against this foreign student. How could he toy with this student like this? Principal Wang couldn't stand it anymore. He patted Prince William, who was standing on the podium with his head held high and chest puffed out like an idiot, and said, All right, you've already introduced yourself. Go down and find an empty seat to sit down and listen to the class. Prince William nodded at Wang Zhonghua, then looked at Qin Feng. He felt that Qin Feng was the only good person in the class. He was very friendly to him, and even took the initiative to help him explain the views of his classmates. Teacher Qiao Feng, thank you for your hard work. Prince William bowed slightly to Qiao Feng, then walked down the podium with his head held high. Ever since he entered the classroom, that pretentious prick had not fallen behind. Qiao Feng, then you should get to know your classmates first and build a good relationship with them. We won't disturb your class anymore. Wang Zhonghua's purpose for coming here this time had been accomplished. He waved his hand and led the group of old antiques away. Lin Qingyuan followed at the back of the group. When he left, he looked back at Qin Feng a few times with a reluctant look on his face. This scared Qin Feng to death. Don't tell me this old man really likes me? After the group of people left, Qin Feng began to chat with the others. In fact, Qin Feng was very familiar with the students in the class. However, to avoid exposing his identity, Qin Feng still asked everyone to introduce themselves one by one. When Hua Yin and Xiao Shi stood up to introduce themselves, Qin Feng deliberately made things difficult for the two girls. His words were full of flirting with the two girls. At this time, Avril and the other 5 exchange students had already returned to their student dormitory. As soon as they arrived at the entrance, they saw Professor Mike and a group of lecturers from the St. Medic Institute waiting for them at the entrance. Professor Mike, Avril and the other 4 walked up to the professor and the lecturers and greeted the professor dejectedly. They didn't need Professor Mike to say anything. They already knew why Professor Mike brought them here. There's no need to say anything. I already know what happened. Let's go upstairs first, then we'll discuss the specific plan. Professor Mike waved his hand, signaling the 5 of them to stop talking. Then, he turned around and walked into the student dormitory. The group of people entered the dormitory in a grandiose manner and entered Professor Mike's room. The room was very spacious, and the furnishings inside were clean and simple. It didn't seem crowded even with a dozen people standing in the room. After entering the room, Professor Mike sat down while the other lecturers and Avril and the other 4 stood to the side. Tell me, how did you guys lose? Professor Mike looked at the 5 of them with a profound gaze. He had high hopes for these 5 students, and with their strength, they shouldn't have lost to the students from Provincial Capital University. The 5 of them remained silent. After a while, Owen took the initiative to speak up after seeing that no one else was talking. Professor Mike, the person who defeated us wasn't a medical student. He's a teacher about the same age as us, and he just arrived today. A new teacher? About the same age as you guys? He defeated all 5 of you by himself? Professor Mike's eyes lit up. Yes, he saved an epileptic patient. We couldn't do anything because we didn't have any medical equipment, but he did it. Owen answered Professor Mike seriously. He seemed to recall the scene of Qin Feng using acupuncture to save people, and his voice trembled slightly. How did he save the epileptic patient? Mike's voice wavered with excitement. Owen stuttered for a long time, but he couldn't tell what technique Qin Feng used. The other 3 men also lowered their heads in silence. At this moment, Avril's beautiful eyes lit up, and she said, "He used needle manipulation." Crack! A crisp sound rang out. It was the sound of Professor Mike crushing the glass in his hand. Professor Mike's expression changed unpredictably. Even he didn't realize that he was so excited that he stood up. "Professor Mike, are you all right?" Avril saw that Professor Mike had lost his composure, so she quickly reminded him, haha, I'm fine. I was thinking about something else just now, and I was a little carried away." Professor Mike returned to his senses. He smiled and sat back in his chair. He continued, "Needle manipulation should be a Chinese acupuncture technique, right? It seems like this new teacher has a very profound foundation in Chinese medicine. It's not your fault that the 5 of you lost to him." Owen and the other 4 heaved a sigh of relief when they heard Professor Mike's words. Willis took a step forward and said unwillingly, "Professor Mike, the new teacher is called Xiao Feng. He defeated the 5 of us today and tarnished the reputation of the St. Medic University. The 5 of us are willing to accept punishment, but Professor Mike, please take some people to defeat Xiao Feng and regain the reputation of the St. Medic University." Professor Mike waved his hand. "I've already said that it's not your fault for this failure, so I won't punish you. As for the reputation that you lost this time, I'll naturally help you regain it. It's getting late, so everyone is free to do whatever you want and rest early tonight. Tomorrow morning, I'll personally lead the team to the medical college to meet that teacher called Xiao Feng." "That's great. As long as Professor Mike leads the team, we'll definitely win." The 5 of them were excited. Obviously, they had great trust in Professor Mike's medical skills. After talking about the defeat, Professor Mike yawned and said, "Sigh. I'm getting old, and I'm always sleepy. Everyone, go back to your own business. Rest early, Professor Mike. We'll take our leave now. The representatives of the lecturers bid farewell to Professor Mike and left the room with Willis and the other four. Avril walked at the back of the crowd and was responsible for closing the door. When she closed the door, Professor Mike nodded at the door and Avril nodded back. It seemed to be a special way of communication. The St. Medic University had already decided that Professor Mike would personally lead the team to challenge Xiao Feng tomorrow. However, Qin Feng was still unaware of this as he was enjoying his time in the university. Student Hua Yin, don't go yet. I want to talk to you alone. The bell rang and the students walked out of the classroom in twos and threes. Many female students took the initiative to invite Qin Feng to watch a movie or have dinner that night, but Qin Feng tactfully rejected them. The female students thought that Xiao Feng was really a righteous man, and they admired him more and more. However, when they heard that he wanted to make Hua Yin stay after school, they turned around and ran out of the classroom angrily. Bang! Instead of Hua Yin, a mountain came to Qin Feng. When Lu Jie stood in front of Qin Feng and slammed his palm on Qin Feng's desk, Qin Feng wanted to kick him to death. Hey, I'm warning you, don't think that I'm afraid of you just because you're a teacher. I'm telling you, I'm the boss of Class 1, and Hua Yin is my sister-in-law. If you dare to do anything to her, I'll kill you right here and now. Lu Jie glared at Xiao Feng furiously. He had tolerated Xiao Feng for the entire afternoon because Qin Feng had been flirting with Hua Yin and Xiao Shi in class. Student, you'd better speak nicely to me. Otherwise, I'll tell your dad about you wrecking his Buick. Qin Feng looked at Lu Jie indifferently. He thought that Lu Jie had grown a pair of wings. Lu Jie's inner chi was broken instantly, and sweat beaded on his forehead. He looked at Qin Feng nervously and doubtfully. Oh my God, Professor Xiao Feng, I was just joking with you. What do you think of my cold jokes? It's not that I'm bragging, but I'm the king of cold jokes in class. Lu Jie changed his attitude and tried to please Qin Feng. Halfway through his speech, Lu Jie suddenly thought of something. He looked at Qin Feng vigilantly and asked, Huh? How did you know that my old man's car was smashed by someone? Who are you? Are you kidding me? Did you really wreck my old man's car? I just said it casually to scare you. I didn't expect to really bump into you. Student Lu Jie, I have something on you. Be careful next time. Qin Feng looked at Lu Jie with a smirk. Lu Jie straightened his back and said angrily, Humph. My old man found out a long time ago that his car was wrecked. A few days ago, he hung me upside down on a tree and whipped me for a day and a night. It's all in the past now. Don't you dare use it to threaten me. Let me tell you, if you dare to mess with my sister-in-law again, I won't forgive you. Qin Feng stared at Lu Jie blankly. He wondered if Lu Jie was picked up from a garbage dump. The family's punishment was too harsh. However, Qin Feng felt warm when he saw how protective Lu Jie was of Hua Yin. He knew that Lu Jie was doing this for his sake. Fatty, you keep calling Hua Yin's sister-in-law. Who's your big brother? Qin Feng wanted to confirm it again. If Lu Jie was his big brother, Qin Feng would have stomped him to death on the spot. Chapter 598. Humph. There's only one man in this world who can be my big brother Lu Jie's man, and that's teacher Qin Feng. Lu Jie patted his chest proudly. Tears welled up in Qin Feng's eyes, and he felt like crying. Did you see that? This is a true brother. It had been a long time since Qin Feng last saw Lu Jie. Hearing such touching words from Lu Jie as soon as he saw him, Qin Feng was moved. He remembered the orange-grade Overlord Slash that he obtained from Sima Haoran when he annihilated the Sima family in Acropolis City. The broadsword was 2 meters long, comparable to the green dragon crescent blade that Qin Feng had previously obtained. The last time Lu Jie and Qin Feng went to the warrior town's blacksmith shop, Lu Jie had his eyes on the green dragon crescent blade, which wasn't even a spiritual weapon. Qin Feng had purposely left this orange-grade Overlord Slash for Lu Jie, and now he was going to give it to him. However, after Qin Feng flipped his hand over a few times, he suddenly realized that he had temporarily lost contact with the Hedonist sovereign system, so he couldn't take out the spirit equipment. Hey, why are you flipping your palm over and over again? Are you trying to show off to me? If you have the guts, let's go out and fight. Lu Jie misunderstood Qin Feng's intention, but Qin Feng wasn't angry. He smiled at Lu Jie and said, "Classmate Lu Jie, I think you're a martial artist. I have an orange quality Overlord's chop at home. The handle of the Overlord's chop is 1 meter long, and the broadsword is more than 1 meter long. The entire Overlord's chop emits a faint orange glow, and its blade is sharp enough to cut through iron as if it were mud. I think it's very suitable for martial artists of your size. I'll give it to you in 2 days." Lu Jie, who was yelling at Qin Feng a second ago, was petrified. Orange-grade spiritual weapon? It was a rare treasure that even the 4 major families in the provincial capital couldn't get their hands on. Lu Jie was a stage 4 inner chi martial artist now, but he didn't even have a decent weapon. Lu Jie's expression changed when he heard Qin Feng's words. He rubbed his chubby hands and smiled at Qin Feng. "Ah, Teacher Qiao Feng, why didn't you say so earlier? Otherwise, I wouldn't have offended you. Did you want to go on a date with Hua Yin? Don't worry, I'll take care of this. I have a good relationship with Hua Yin, so I'll put in a good word for you in front of her in the future. I'll make sure you two are a couple." Qin Feng's face was as dark as the bottom of a pot. He really wanted to take back what he had said earlier. A brother like Lu Jie, sigh. He had misjudged. "Xiao Feng Laosher? What's wrong with you? Say something? When are you going to give me the Overlord's chop? Why don't I go back with you and take it from your house?" Lu Jie waved his hand in front of Qin Feng's eyes. He thought Qin Feng was asleep. Qin Feng snapped out of his rage and glared at Lu Jie. "Get lost. I'd rather keep my Overlord / at home to chop vegetables than give it to you." Qin Feng was furious. He left Lu Jie behind and walked out of the classroom. Hua Yin was nowhere to be seen. Qin Feng called out to Hua Yin. He wanted to give her the fire spirit pill to see if she could become a dual attribute demonic cultivator. It seemed like he could only find another opportunity to give it to Hua Yin. "Miss Shir, wait for me." Qin Feng could not find Hua Yin, but he saw Qiao Shir who was not far away. Qiao Shir was like a fairy who had been forgotten in the mortal world. She stopped and turned around to look at Qiao Feng. "Professor Qiao Feng, what's the matter?" "Hee, it's nothing." "Oh right, are you free tonight? I'll treat you to dinner and a movie." When Qin Feng saw Qiao Shir, he recalled the scene in Devil Beast Mountain not long ago. Qiao Shir's slender body floated in the air. Her fine black hair fluttered in the wind as she summoned powerful demonic beasts. If Qin Feng did not see it with his own eyes, he would never believe that Qiao Shir had such a strange ability. "I'm sorry, I have something to do tonight. You should find someone else." Qiao Shir blushed. She thought Xiao Feng was confessing to her. "I see. I'll ask you out next time." Shir, where's your house? I'll send you back." Qin Feng still had a mission related to Qiao Shir. He needed to gain Qiao Shir's trust. Qin Feng had taken advantage of Qiao Shir at Devil Beast Mountain, and they almost had sex. Qin Feng felt that it was impossible for him to gain Qiao Shir's trust with his original identity. Therefore, he planned to use Qiao Feng's identity to get in touch with Qiao Shir again. "Okay, let's go together." Qiao Shir did not reject Qin Feng this time. This surprised Qin Feng because it did not fit Qiao Shir's personality. Qiao Shir seemed to have noticed Qiao Feng's confusion. She smiled faintly, like a white lotus blooming on a snowy mountain, and said, "It's because our surnames are Qiao." Qiao Shir's words came out of nowhere. Then, the smile on her face disappeared, and a trace of pain and disappointment flashed across her beautiful eyes. Qin Feng had no idea what was going through her mind. Looking at her lonely face, Qin Feng wanted to hug her and comfort her. The two of them walked side by side on the streets and alleys. It was as if time had stopped, and they were the only ones in the world. Qin Feng felt that he had been deceived by Qiao Shir. Qiao Shir promised Qin Feng to send her home, but Qin Feng felt like he was walking alone. Qiao Shir lowered her head and did not speak a word. She never took the initiative to speak to Qin Feng. Sometimes, Qin Feng even felt that this girl was invisible. He could not understand her and could not integrate into her world. Qin Feng was worried that Xiao Shishir would bump into an electric pole or a car with her head lowered. If that was the case, Qin Feng could jump in front of Xiao Shishir, spread his arms to protect her, and whisper some sweet nothings to her. Xiao Shishir would be so touched that she would fall into Qin Feng's arms. She would be so touched that she would burst into tears. Qin Feng's fantasy of saving the damsel in distress did not come true. To his surprise, Xiao Shishir seemed to have eyes all over her body. Every time she encountered an obstacle in front of her, Xiao Shishir didn't even need to lift her head. Xiao Shishir suddenly stopped and raised her head. She looked at Qin Feng expressionlessly as if she could read his mind. She said calmly, "If I tell you that I can read animals' language, so even if I walk with my eyes closed, I can sense the communication between small animals and analyze whether there is an obstacle in front of me, would you believe me?" Xiao Shishir didn't sound like she was asking Qin Feng a question. She sounded more like she was talking to herself. After she finished speaking, the corner of her beautiful lips curled into a graceful curve as if she was mocking herself. Qin Feng seemed to be able to sense Xiao Shishir's loneliness. She was a natural spirit beast master, and she was born with the ability to read animals' languages. She probably discovered that she was different from the others when she was young, and she excitedly wanted to share this special ability with her friends. However, her classmates treated her like a monster and kept their distance from her. If Qin Feng's guess was correct, he could understand why Xiao Shishir was so lonely and deliberately avoided making friends. However, what Qin Feng couldn't understand was that Xiao Shishir's eyes were filled with loneliness, pain, and even a hint of murderous aura. In order to complete the system's mission and gain Xiao Shishir's trust as soon as possible, Qin Feng had been observing Xiao Shishir throughout the journey. That was how he discovered these details. Qin Feng felt that this mission was very difficult. He had known Xiao Shishir for a long time, but he had never seen through her heart. "I believe you have this ability. I heard that angels can understand the language of all living things." Qin Feng smiled at Xiao Shishir after he recovered from his momentary daze. Xiao Shishir's expression suddenly froze, and the way she looked at Qin Feng changed. Once again, Qin Feng saw the smile on Xiao Shishir's face. She was still as beautiful as ever. "Thank you. I've reached my home. I'm going back now." Xiao Shishir waved at Xiao Feng and walked into a small alley. Qin Feng started to look around. He was in an old district of the provincial capital. The houses were built in the style of old Sihiyuan. The environment and security were terrible. Xiao Shishir lived here? It seemed like her family wasn't very well off. "Please go away. Don't bother me anymore." Qin Feng was still in a daze when he heard Xiao Shishir's angry voice. He quickly ran to her. In a remote alley, 3 sloppy men surrounded Xiao Shishir. All 3 of them had perverted smiles on their faces, and their gazes wandered up and down Xiao Shishir's body without the slightest scruple. Xiao Shishir leaned her back against the corner of the wall. Other than a hint of nervousness, her eyes were filled with coldness and anger. "Little beauty, don't be angry. We're not bad guys. We've been waiting here every day for you to finish school. We've been waiting for you for a week. Every night, we sincerely invite you to watch a movie and treat you to a big meal. If you don't agree to our invitation tonight, won't it be a little unreasonable?" One of the 3 men with green hair grinned at Xiao Shishir. He slowly inched forward, trying to get close to Xiao Shishir. "Go away." Xiao Shishir became agitated. Her beautiful brows knitted together. It was obvious that she hated the 3 men's behavior. "Humph. Bitch, don't refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. We've been waiting here for a week. Do you really think we're patient enough to wait for you to accept our invitation? We've been investigating you for the past few days. You've been renting a house here all by yourself. You don't even have any relatives or friends. If you don't accompany us to drink tonight, I'll drag you to the corner of the wall and kill you on the spot." The green-haired man's expression changed drastically. He had shed all pretense of cordiality. Xiao Shishir was also worried. She looked around nervously as if she was looking for something. "Bitch, are you going to call for help? Let's see how you're going to call for help after I cover your mouth." Ha ha ha. The green-haired man thought Xiao Shishir was going to call for help. He took off his jacket and covered Xiao Shishir's head with it. "Stop. Qin Feng had witnessed everything that had transpired. Unconsciously, he clenched his fists and strode to Qiao Shi's side. Bastard, where the hell did you come from? If you know what's good for you, get out of here. The green-haired man was startled by Qin Feng's sudden appearance, but he quickly calmed down and started to threaten Qin Feng. Qin Feng ignored green-haired man and the other two. After he arrived, he checked on Qiao Shi's condition. Seeing that Qiao Shi wasn't injured, Qin Feng calmed down. He slowly turned around and looked at green-haired man. Do you want to hit me? If you don't get out of here, I'll hit you. The green-haired man roared arrogantly. As soon as he finished speaking, Qin Feng's fist landed on the green-haired man's face. He flipped backward and fell to the ground. What a coincidence. I want to hit you too. Seeing their big brother fall to the ground after being hit, the legs of the two little brothers who were still standing trembled. They quickly turned around and ran, not even caring about their big brother. The green-haired man covered his bruised eyes and screamed in pain. Qin Feng ignored him and looked at Qiao Shi. It's okay now. Don't be afraid. Chapter 599. Naturally, Qin Feng didn't care about the two hooligans. Even if they called for more than 100 hooligans, Qin Feng alone could take care of them. Classmate Shi, do you live near here? The security here isn't very good. I'll walk you to your house. Otherwise, I'll be worried, Qin Feng said to Qiao Shi. Qiao Shi gripped the hem of her shirt tightly with an unnatural expression on her face. Before she could say anything, the two hooligans who ran away earlier came back angrily. Motherfucker, how dare you touch our brother Green Hair? You're courting. The two hooligans rushed to the entrance of the alley, but before they could finish their threats, they suddenly ran away again. Qin Feng and Qiao Shi were dumbfounded by their strange behavior. They looked at each other with blank expressions on their faces. Soon, Qin Feng heard a flurry of hurried footsteps rushing in their direction. Based on the sound alone, there were at least 20 to 30 people. The two lackeys that had just run away rushed to the mouth of the alley again. They each had a wooden stick in their hands. Behind them, 20 or so people quickly rushed over. Seeing this scene, Qin Feng understood. Those two idiotic lackeys had come to the front to show off, but when they realized that the reinforcements behind them hadn't caught up, they ran back in fear to wait for reinforcements halfway through their threat. Motherfucker, you dare to touch our brother Green Hair? You're looking for death, brat. The two lackeys finally finished saying the vicious words they didn't dare to say before. Facing over 20 fiendish hooligans, Qin Feng had the urge to laugh at this moment. Qiao Shi wasn't as relaxed as Qin Feng. She looked a little nervous as she hid behind Qin Feng. Her eyes darted back and forth as if she was looking for something. Is this the brother Green Hat you were talking about? Qin Feng pointed at Green Hair, who was lying on the ground with a bloody nose and a swollen face. He shook his head and sighed. Sigh. I don't know what kind of big brother you are. Even your hooligans call you Brother Green Hat. How many green hats do you think you've worn? If I'm not mistaken, this hooligan has even slept with sister-in-law. Qin Feng looked at the lackey with the wooden stick. The lackey was so scared that his face turned pale. He hastily yelled, Nonsense. I've never slept with sister-in-law. It was sister-in-law who seduced me that time. Voila! The crowd suddenly burst into an uproar. More than 20 big hoodlums' gazes fell on that underling, and their eyes were filled with shock. The underling holding the wooden stick also realized that he had said the wrong thing. He was so scared that he was drenched in sweat, as if he had been drenched in a heavy rain. Stinking brat, you dare to slander me? Brothers, don't listen to his nonsense. He beat our green hat. Baba, green hair bro until his face is swollen. We're going to break his arms and legs. The lackey holding the wooden stick was afraid that Qin Feng would speak nonsense again, so he waved the wooden stick and pounced at Qin Feng. Halfway there, the lackey abruptly stopped. He looked back and realized that no one was following him. He was so scared that he hurriedly ran back. Bang! Before the lackey could get far, Qin Feng kicked him and sent him flying into someone else's courtyard house. The 20 or so hooligans were dumbstruck. They never thought that Qin Feng could send someone flying with one kick. He was obviously not someone to be trifled with. The 20 or so people stared at Qin Feng. For a moment, none of them dared to teach Qin Feng a lesson. Motherfucker, why are you guys still standing there like idiots? All of you, attack. Kill that man and capture the woman. I want to fuck her to death. The green-haired man who was lying on the ground was so angry that he was about to die. He endured the pain on his face and roared. The 20 or so hooligans immediately came to their senses and pounced at Qin Feng. Teacher Qiao Feng, you go first. Suddenly, Qiao Shishi's emotionless voice came from behind Qin Feng. Qin Feng turned around and saw that Qiao Shishi's beautiful eyes had lost their luster. It was as if her soul had been sucked out. Her long hair slowly fluttered, and more than half of it stood on top of her head. She looked very scary. The hooligans who had already rushed to Qin Feng were shocked. They thought that Qiao Shishi was going to dress up as a ghost to scare them. Qin Feng was also shocked. He thought that this girl couldn't be summoning demon beasts and wild beasts, right? But this was the provincial capital. Where would the demon beasts and wild beasts come from? Woof woof woof. Meow meow meow. Cluck cluck cluck. Nu nu nu. Just as Qin Feng was puzzled, he heard all kinds of animal cries coming from all directions. The 20 or so hooligans also heard the abnormality. They stopped what they were doing and seemed to have forgotten that they were here to teach Qin Feng a lesson. They looked around curiously to see what was going on. Chirp chirp chirp. Ga 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 ga. Ba 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 ba. More and more animal cries came. From the different cries, Qin Feng could tell that there were more than a dozen different animals. Some ran on the ground, some flew in the sky. Was there a zoo nearby? Damn, pigs. There's a big fat pig. Hens. So many old hens. Io, is this chicken in heat? Why is it pecking at my leg? Oh no, these dogs must have rabies, right? Don't fucking chase me. Unknowingly, groups of small animals swarmed into the alley from all directions. The small ones were chickens, ducks, cats, and dogs, and the big ones were pigs, horses, cows, and sheep. Not only the animals running on the ground, but even the sparrows and magpies flying in the sky came in pairs. These animals seemed to be under someone's control. They chased after the hooligans in a frenzy and attacked them as soon as they saw them. Many of the hooligans' legs were pecked by the old hens, and their bones were exposed. More people were chased by wild dogs all over the street and were gored into the sky by the horns of bulls. That green-haired bro was the most miserable one. Since he had broken his leg earlier, he couldn't run away at all. His body was covered by the sparrows, and he was about to be swallowed alive by them. Seeing this scene, Qin Feng was dumbfounded. Back in Devil Beast Mountain, Qin Feng had witnessed Qiao Shishi's strength. Initially, Qin Feng thought that Qiao Shishi was only powerful in the deep mountains and forests where wild beasts roamed. He did not expect her to be so powerful in the city. Do not underestimate these little chicks and ducklings. After being controlled by Qiao Shishi, they became members of a suicide squad. Their attacks multiplied, and it seemed like their only goal was to defeat their enemies. Even if they were killed by their enemies, they would at least give their enemies a peck or a blow. Shishi, it's about time. Stop. Qin Feng thought his wind blade martial skill was cruel and could cut off limbs with ease. But now, he saw the hooligans being attacked by the frenzied fowls. They were beyond recognition, and their blood flowed like a river. Qiao Shishi's body slowly floated in the air. Her eyes were empty and lifeless, and she had completely lost consciousness. Qin Feng called her a few times, but there was no response. Seeing that some of the hooligans were about to be eaten by the fowls, Qin Feng hastily grabbed Qiao Shishi and pulled her back to the ground. Qiao Shishi was still unconscious, so Qin Feng slapped the back of her neck and knocked her out. Buzz. Qiao Shishi fainted, and the scene around her changed drastically. The frenzied fowls stopped attacking and stood rooted to the ground. A few seconds later, they looked around in bewilderment at their companions and other animals. Could it be that they had transmigrated? Woof, woof, woof. The stray dogs were scared out of their wits. They barked crazily to calm themselves down. Wasn't I paired up with a female dog on the street? Why the hell did I get caught and brought into the zoo? The wild dogs barked, and the other poultry scurried in all directions in fear. In his lifetime, Qin Feng had finally seen a scene of chickens flying and dogs leaping, and the intense scene of poultry fighting each other. Qin Feng shifted his gaze back to Qiao Shih. She was lying in Qin Feng's arms. Her face was pale, and she slept quietly like a forgotten fairy. Qin Feng couldn't help but caress Qiao Shih's face. Her skin was smooth and soft, and he couldn't help but caress her face again. After countless caresses, Qiao Shih suddenly opened her eyes. Qin Feng was so startled that he almost threw her out of his arms. Ahem. Student Shih, you're finally awake. You gave me a fright just now. Why did you suddenly float in the air? Did you see those frenzied fowls? They saved us. Qin Feng was using Qiao Feng's identity. Even if he knew that Qiao Shih was a spirit beast master, he couldn't show it. Qiao Shih shyly struggled out of Qin Feng's arms. Her expression was complicated. After hesitating for a while, Qiao Shih said to Qin Feng, "Teacher Qiao Feng, I told you that I can read animals' language. Do you really believe me?" Of course, it's true. Did student Shih call those fowls here? Qin Feng pretended to be enlightened. He was so shocked that his eyeballs almost fell out of their sockets. Qiao Shih's expression was calm, as if this ability was nothing out of the ordinary to her. Teacher Qiao Feng, my house is not far from here. Let's go back and talk. Qiao Shih took the initiative to invite Qin Feng to her house. Qin Feng was overjoyed, but he pretended to be serious and said, "Student Shih, it's quite late now. Is it convenient for me to go to your house? Will your parents misunderstand us?" Qiao Shih suddenly stopped. Qin Feng saw her back tremble a few times. Then, Qiao Shih's cold voice sounded, "They're not home. Come with me." Qin Feng sensed that Qiao Shih's mood had suddenly dropped. He couldn't figure out the reason, so he stopped asking and followed behind Qiao Shih. Qiao Shih's house was not far away. They just had to walk to the end of the alley and turn a corner. It was a large courtyard house. Vegetables and fruit trees were planted in the courtyard, and the ground was very clean. Qin Feng smelled the fragrance of flowers as soon as he entered the house. There were 5 rooms in the courtyard house, and Qiao Shih was staying in the smallest room. Just as the two of them arrived at the door, an old lady walked out from the main room. "Shih, you're back, right? You brought a friend home today? It's a boy." Qiao Shih blushed and quickly went to support the old lady. "Grandma Lu, it's getting dark. Don't go out and walk around. It'll be bad if you bump into something. It's fine. Your Grandma Lu is still very healthy. Even if she falls, she can still get up and run." Grandma Lu was a humorous and amiable old lady. She walked to Qin Feng with Qiao Shih's help. Grandma Lu looked at Qin Feng from head to toe and said with a smile, I'm getting old and my memory is getting worse. I've looked at this young man a few times, but I can't remember his face." Grandma Lu accidentally blurted out the truth, and it made Qiao Shih laugh. "Grandma Lu, it's not that you have a bad memory, but this is the new Chinese medicine teacher in our class. He looks so ordinary that I still can't remember what he looks like." Qin Feng felt helpless when he heard Qiao Shih and Grandma Lu talking about him. He wondered how ordinary his face was. After thinking for a long time, Qin Feng realized that he had forgotten his current face. Chapter 600. Qiao Shih was amused by Professor Qiao Feng's sullen expression. She held Grandma Lu's arm and said, "Grandma Lu, that old man Zhang you mentioned is a quack. His fortune-telling, talismans, and elixirs are all lies. Professor Qiao Feng is a real Chinese medicine teacher. He's different." Oh. So that's how it is. All right, as long as Shih likes it, Grandma Lu said with a peaceful smile. Qiao Shih nodded instinctively. Then, she realized something was wrong. She quickly shook her head and said, "What are you talking about, Grandma Lu? What's there to like?" Qiao Shih's pretty face began to blush. She looked extremely adorable under the sunset glow. Grandma Lu patted Qiao Shih's hand and looked at Qiao Feng with a smile. "Teacher Qiao Feng, You're really lucky. Sure has been renting a house here for more than a year, and I've never seen her bring anyone home, not even a female classmate. But today, she brought you home, a male teacher. I've heard that times have changed. Wouldn't a teacher be arrested for dating a student? Grandma Lu looked at Qin Feng worriedly. Qin Feng and Xiao Sure didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Grandma Lu, you can call me Xiao Feng. Now that the world has changed, even grandfathers and granddaughters don't care, let alone a teacher and a student. Grandma Lu's expression changed drastically. She quickly took 2 steps back and looked at Qin Feng cautiously. How can you do this? Then, are you interested in Grandma Lu? The corner of Xiao Feng's mouth twitched, but he didn't say anything. Grandma Lu suddenly laughed. She grabbed Xiao Shure's hand and placed it in Qin Feng's big hand. Haha, Grandma Lu is joking with you. Look at how scared you are. Even if you like Grandma Lu, she won't like you. I can't remember your face. I can't recognize you on the street. Qin Feng had the urge to turn around and leave. But when he remembered that he was still holding Xiao Shure's soft hand, he decided to bear with it for a while. Grandma Lu continued, Little Feng, Sure is a good girl. She's diligent and thrifty. She's kind-hearted. You have to treat her well. Otherwise, Grandma Lu won't like it. Xiao Shure's hand was so soft that it felt like it was boneless. Qin Feng shamelessly grabbed her hand and refused to let go. The blush on Xiao Shure's face deepened. She tried to break free from Qin Feng's grip, but when she saw Grandma Lu's happy and satisfied expression, she stopped herself. Don't worry, Grandma Lu. I'll take good care of Sure, Qin Feng said with a smile. Okay, Grandma has high hopes for you too. Then you two go into the house and enjoy yourselves. Grandma is going out to do square dancing. Many old men are waiting for me. Grandma Lu looked at the two of them meaningfully, then walked out of the courtyard with a smile. Whoosh! As soon as Grandma Lu left, Xiao Sure shook off Qin Feng's hand and stormed into the room angrily. Qin Feng felt a little guilty and followed them in. Xiao Shure's bedroom was small, but it was clean and tidy. The room was filled with a faint fragrance that smelled like Xiao Shure. When Qin Feng entered the room, he felt as if he had returned to the ancient times. Xiao Shure's room was devoid of modern household appliances. There was no television, refrigerator, washing machine, gas stove, or microwave oven. There was a small stove in the corner with some firewood beside it. Qin Feng guessed that Xiao Shure used the stove to cook and bathe every day. Take a seat. I hope you don't mind my poor family. Xiao Shure didn't mind the shabbiness of her room. She took a pot of tea and placed it on the small stove to boil the water. Xiao Shure squatted on the floor with her buttocks facing Qin Feng. She was concentrating on lighting the stove. Qin Feng looked at Xiao Shure's back and felt a little restless. He quickly regained his composure and went to help Xiao Shure start the fire. Sure, let me help you. Qin Feng took the matchbox from Xiao Shure's hand and started the fire. Xiao Shure's body was pressed against Qin Feng's, so she felt a little uncomfortable. She got up and went to sit on her clean bed. The setting sun shone through the window and shone on Xiao Shure's body, painting her with a pink hue. Xiao Shure sat quietly on the bed with her head lowered. She was lost in her thoughts, and her figure gradually became transparent like the air. As a hedonistic young master, Qin Feng was tormented to death by starting a fire. When he finally lit the stove, his face was covered with ashes. You asked me about the poultry just now. I can tell you that I summoned them. I've been able to communicate with animals since I was young. I told others about this when I was very young, but they didn't believe me. They laughed at me and distanced themselves from me. After that, I didn't tell anyone. I hid this secret in my heart and didn't tell anyone. Xiao Shure was still sitting on the bed. She seemed to be talking to herself. Her head was lowered, and no one could see her expression. Qin Feng had already started a fire. He pulled over a small stool and sat by the stove. So you really can communicate with animals? I believe you. You're really too amazing. This kind of ability is very magical. Even I want to have it. Qin Feng's reaction was out of Xiao Shure's expectation. She thought Qin Feng would be frightened by her ability. She thought he would cry and point at her, calling her a monster, just like her childhood friends did. However, Qin Feng was not afraid. Instead, he admired her ability. Could it be a way for him to pick up girls? Are you telling the truth? Xiao Shi raised her head and looked at Qin Feng with uncertainty. She had been a loner since she was young and rarely interacted with others. However, Xiao Shi could read people's eyes and read their thoughts. Of course it's true. I'm very envious of your ability to communicate with animals. You can even control their minds and make them fight for you. It's cool just thinking about it. Qin Feng looked at Xiao Shi seriously. Xiao Shi could see the sincerity in Qin Feng's eyes. He was telling the truth. Xiao Shi was inexplicably happy. She did not have any friends. It was not that she did not want to make friends, but she was afraid of being hurt by her friends. However, Xiao Feng seemed to be different from others. Xiao Shi wanted to befriend him because she was too lonely. Professor Xiao Feng, your Chinese medicine skills are amazing. I've only seen 2 people who can use the needle manipulation technique. One is you, and the other is... Xiao Shi paused, and a complicated expression appeared on her face. She suddenly thought of Qin Feng. She was angry and worried at the same time. Qin Feng had taken advantage of Xiao Shi, but he had also saved her life. Xiao Shi did not know how to face Qin Feng again. If it was possible, Xiao Shi hoped that she would never see him again. She wanted this to be a sealed secret. Who was the other person? Are you familiar with him? Qin Feng was eager to know how important Qin Feng was in Xiao Shi's heart. Xiao Shi shook her head and lowered her head again. Let's not talk about him. We are not familiar with each other. Qin Feng was slightly disappointed, but he quickly became happy. Xiao Shi did not have a good impression of Qin Feng, but she still had a good impression of Xiao Feng. Shi, are you born with the ability to communicate with animals? How do you communicate with them? Can I learn it? Qin Feng's interest was piqued. He felt that Xiao Shi's summoning ability was too powerful. If he could learn it, he would become even more powerful. Xiao Shi raised her head again. When she mentioned the summoning ability, Xiao Shi's beautiful eyes shone brightly. Regardless of what others thought of Xiao Shi's summoning ability, she was very fond of it. I was born with this ability. Every time I communicate with animals, I can calm down and not think about anything else. It's as if the world has quieted down, and there are only me and the animals left. At that time, I can hear their whispers and become part of their living world. I can talk to them, and they like me very much. We are good friends. As for whether you can learn this ability or not, I'm not sure. But if you want to learn, I'll be happy to teach you. Of course, Qin Feng was happy to learn. He immediately ran to Xiao Shi's side and sat down. Xiao Shi was startled. This was the first time a man entered her room and sat on her bed. Xiao Shi couldn't get used to it. What's wrong? Then I'll stand and learn. Qin Feng was also startled by Xiao Shi's action. He seemed to understand Xiao Shi's concerns, so he stood aside. After Xiao Shi regained her composure, she felt a little guilty. Teacher Xiao Feng was able to accept her strange ability and was willing to stand up for her when she was in danger. But now, he just sat on her bed, and you're making a fuss out of nothing? It's fine, Teacher Xiao Feng. Please sit down. It's tiring to stand up. Xiao Shi carefully sat back on the bed. Her hands clutched the hem of her clothes nervously. Qin Feng didn't stand on ceremony and sat down next to Xiao Shi. There were still a few centimeters between them. Their bodies weren't touching, but from a distance, it looked like they were leaning against each other. Qin Feng smelled the fragrance from Xiao Shi's body and enjoyed it very much. Xiao Shi sensed a man's scent in the room. It made her feel uncomfortable, and her little heart thumped nonstop. Shi, are you feeling hot? Do you want me to help you take off your coat? Qin Feng looked at Xiao Shi with a smile. Xiao Shi was startled. She quickly waved her hands. I am not hot. I'll teach you how to feel the sounds of nature. Xiao Shi didn't dare to take off her coat. She lived a hard life. She didn't even wear a sweater or thermal underwear under her cotton-padded jacket. She only wore a white camisole. It would be very awkward if she took off her coat. Of course, Qin Feng wouldn't take off Qiao Shirshi's coat. He wanted to leave a good impression on Qiao Shirshi. Qin Feng hastily sat up and said, "All right, let's begin." Qiao Shirshi heaved a sigh of relief when she saw Qiao Feng had calmed down. She looked at Qiao Feng and couldn't help but burst into laughter. Qiao Shirshi rarely laughed, but today, it was as if she had laughed all the time she had in the past year. Qin Feng was lost in thought as he looked at her smiling face that was as beautiful as a blooming lotus. Shirshi, what's wrong? Are you laughing at me? Qin Feng looked at Qiao Shirshi in puzzlement after he regained his senses. Qiao Shirshi covered her mouth and tried to stop laughing, but her thin shoulders were still trembling. Haha, Professor Qiao Feng, your face is covered with pot dust. You look like a dirty cat. Qiao Shirshi laughed so hard that she couldn't catch her breath. Qin Feng finally knew why she was laughing. Qin Feng had always thought that a girl like Qiao Shirshi would be difficult to get along with, let alone make her laugh. However, after spending some time with her, Qin Feng realized that he was gravely mistaken. Qiao Shirshi didn't have any friends, and she didn't have a childhood. Therefore, she wasn't funny at all. Haha, I must have gotten it when I started the fire. I've made a fool of myself in front of you. I'm going to wipe it with water. Where's your mirror? Qin Feng was inexplicably happy when he saw Qiao Shirshi was so happy. Chapter 601. You don't have a mirror? No way. Don't you dress yourself up every day? Qin Feng was stunned. I don't dress up much. I just fetch a bucket of water from the courtyard and tidy my hair while looking at my reflection in the water, said Qiao Shirshi. Qin Feng's eyes widened in disbelief. Is this girl really going to live like a savage? But she's still so beautiful even if she doesn't dress up. If she dresses up meticulously, she'll be mesmerizing. Forget it then. I won't wipe it anymore. Qin Feng didn't mind. After all, his face was too ordinary. A little more dust would leave a deeper impression. Qiao Shirshi hesitated for a moment before she got off the bed and took a white towel. She dipped it in the water bucket and returned to Qin Feng's side. Professor Qiao Feng, if you don't mind, I can help you wipe it off. Qin Feng sat on the edge of the bed while Qiao Shirshi stood in front of him. When he looked up, he could see Qiao Shirshi's chest. It wasn't as big as Hua Yin and Yin Wu Shuang's, but it was small and exquisite. Qin Feng swallowed a few times. That's not good. I'll have to trouble Miss Shirshi then. Qin Feng pretended to be shy. Qiao Shirshi blushed and bent down to wipe Qin Feng's face with the towel. The towel was cold, but Qin Feng didn't mind. Qiao Shirshi wiped Qin Feng's face carefully and carefully. Her palm would accidentally touch Qin Feng's face. It was soft and smooth, and Qin Feng enjoyed it very much. Qiao Shirshi felt an electric current coursing through her body. She was so shy that her hands trembled. She touched Qin Feng's face more and more frequently. Both of them were very close to each other. Qin Feng looked at Qiao Shirshi's face closely. It was fair and flawless. When he moved his gaze downward, he could see her beautiful collarbone and the white skin under her collar. What surprised Qin Feng was that Qiao Shirshi was only wearing a white camisole under her cotton-padded jacket, even though it was already winter. She looked extremely alluring. Could it be that this lass is deliberately teasing me? Okay. Just as Qin Feng's wicked thoughts sprouted in his mind, Qiao Shirshi grabbed the towel and went to wash herself. Looking at Qiao Shirshi's back as she squatted on the floor, Qin Feng's heart skipped a beat. It would be great if he could have such a good woman. After washing the towel, Qiao Shirshi returned to the bed. The flush on her face had receded, and she had regained her usual composure. It was as if nothing had happened. Teacher Qiao Feng, why don't I teach you how to sense all living things? Now that Qiao Shirshi was talking about the main topic, Qin Feng cleared his mind and said, All right, let's begin. After entering the teaching atmosphere, the two of them had already calmed down. Qiao Shirshi began to communicate with nature. She seemed to have transformed into another person. Her expression was blank, and her hair fluttered in the wind. Qiao Shirshi's voice rang in Qin Feng's mind, telling him how to sense everything. Following Qiao Shirshi's instructions, Qin Feng realized that he could really enter a state where he forgot himself. It was as if time had stopped, and the noise around him had disappeared. All that was left were him and Qiao Shi, as well as the whispers of all living things around him. Teacher Qiaofeng, you're amazing. You can really enter the mirror of all creation. This is not something that anyone can teach you. Qiao Shi's surprised voice rang in Qin Feng's mind. Qin Feng was also surprised. He just wanted to give it a try, but he didn't expect that he could enter the mirror of all creation so quickly. What does the mirror of all creation mean? As if she could read Qin Feng's mind, Qiao Shi continued, the mirror of all creation is to sense all living things and merge with all living things. Qin Feng nodded, but he didn't fully understand. He communicated with Qiao Shi through his mind. Shi, what realm is after the mirror of all creation? What realm are you in now? Above all living things is the sovereign realm. The sovereign realm means that all living things are at my disposal, and I am the master of all living things. Qin Feng was shocked. Although he hadn't entered the sovereign realm yet, he knew that it was a very powerful realm based on Qiao Shi's explanation. I've just entered the sovereign realm. Qiao Shi's last sentence shocked Qin Feng even more. This seemingly weak girl is already in the sovereign realm? Doesn't that mean she can rule all living things? If someone offended this girl, wouldn't that person die a horrible death? Qiao Shi seemed to have heard Qin Feng's thoughts, and she added, the sovereign realm is very complicated. I've just entered the sovereign realm, so I can only summon low-level beasts and wild beasts. Moreover, I won't use my summoning ability unless I have no other choice, just like those bad guys today. Qin Feng nodded. He knew that Qiao Shi was a kind-hearted girl. After learning that summoning was so powerful, Qin Feng calmed his mind and tried to enter the sovereign realm according to Qiao Shi's method. However, he tried again and again, but he still couldn't enter the sovereign realm. He felt that something was missing. Who? Qin Feng didn't know how much time had passed, but the moon was already high up in the sky. He let out a long sigh and finally gave up. Qin Feng realized that even though he was sitting on the bed doing nothing, the exhaustion of his energy was more than 100 times more tiring than physical labor. Qiao Shi's fluttering hair fell to the ground, and soon, she returned to reality. Aya, it's so late. Teacher Qiaofeng, do you want to stay for dinner? Qiao Shi didn't expect that Teacher Qiaofeng could enter the mirror of all creation. It was a miracle to her. Qiao Shi felt that she had finally found a companion, and her attitude towards Qin Feng had changed. Qin Feng rubbed his stomach. He was indeed hungry. Shi, you go wash the vegetables, and I'll cook them later. Let's work together. Won't it be tiring? Qin Feng smiled and said, No, it's not tiring. Qiao Shi's face blushed slightly. Fortunately, it wasn't that obvious under the moonlight. Qiao Shi nodded and hastily grabbed some vegetables and ran out of the courtyard. It turned out that this girl lived here. She had to go to the well in the courtyard to fetch water and wash her clothes. Qin Feng went to the small stove. The water in the teapot was almost dry, and the firewood in the small stove was almost finished. Qin Feng hurriedly took the teapot away and found a few pieces of firewood to start a fire. Qin Feng picked up the matchbox and put it back. He was a man who possessed the destructive fire, so he had to use the coolest way to start a fire. Although he had lost contact with the hedonist sovereign system, Qin Feng's flames of destruction weren't stored in the system. When he killed the flame wolf at Devil Beast Mountain, he swallowed the flame wolf's demon core. That flame of destruction was Qin Feng's own fire seed. Rumble. Qin Feng glanced at the door. Seeing that Qiao Shi hadn't returned, he quickly sent a ball of fire into the stove. The fire of destruction was extremely powerful. It rose 3 meters high in an instant and burned the roof. Qin Feng was shocked by the scene in front of him. The place where the fire came into contact with the fire spread rapidly. At this rate, the whole house would be burned to ashes. Qin Feng came back to his senses. He quickly picked up a large water jar in the corner of the house and poured all the cold water into the fire. However, when the water came into contact with the fire of destruction, it instantly evaporated into steam and disappeared. The raging fire was not damaged in the slightest. Damn, it's not a good thing that the fire seed is too strong. Qin Feng immediately came to his senses. This was the fire of destruction. How could ordinary well water extinguish it? Qin Feng had a feeling that he was hanging by a thread. He wanted to ask Little Pig for help, but the system couldn't contact it. Qin Feng quickly tried to control the fire with his mind. The fire seed, which was flying everywhere, began to gather according to Qin Feng's will. Finally, it flew back into Qin Feng's body. Qin Feng was stunned by the scene in front of him. He had fought with the fire of destruction on Devil Beast Mountain, but at that time, he could only release the fire seed. He couldn't control it. Could this have something to do with him entering the mirror of all creation? He could feel all things, but he couldn't control them. Qin Feng still couldn't figure it out, but he didn't have the mood to think about it. He noticed that Xiao Shi was standing at the door, looking at the situation in the house with a blank face. The house looked like it had been robbed. There was a lot of water on the floor, and some pots, bowls, ladles, and other utensils were knocked to the ground in Qin Feng's haste. Teacher Xiao Feng, what did you do just now? Xiao Shi put the washed dishes to the side and turned on the light in the room. As soon as the light was turned on, Xiao Shi covered her mouth and screamed, "The stove? Where's the stove? The large water jar is gone? How can this be?" Xiao Shi was shocked. She went out to wash the dishes for less than 5 minutes, and when she came back, the whole house had changed. If it wasn't for Xiao Feng staying in the room, Xiao Shi would have thought that the house had been robbed. Qin Feng regained his senses. He looked at Xiao Shi with a puzzled expression and said, "Shi, what stove? What large water jar? What nonsense are you talking about?" "I'm not talking nonsense. Did you forget that there's a small stove and a large water tank in the corner of my house? When you entered the house, you even lit the stove. Also, the teapot is gone, right? The basin I used to wash your face is gone." Xiao Shi looked aggrieved. She was so anxious that she was about to cry. The things she mentioned just now were the big things in the house. Qin Feng knew that the things that disappeared were melted by the fire of destruction. Now, they had turned into water-pure qi and drifted away to God knows where. Qin Feng would never admit to such a thing. He looked at Xiao Shi with a straight face and said, "Shi, are you sick? Let me feel your forehead. Oh my, why is it so hot? You must have a fever. You don't have a stove or a water jar in your house. I haven't seen it since I entered the house." Qin Feng's hand was still on Xiao Shi's forehead. It was so comfortable to touch that Xiao Shi forgot about the stove and the water jar. She blushed and blushed. Qin Feng was afraid that Xiao Shi would continue to question him. He quickly pushed Xiao Shi onto the bed, removed her shoes, and covered her with the blanket. After he was done, Qin Feng turned around and ran out of the house. When he was at the entrance of the courtyard, he said, Shi, it's late. Teacher has gone back. You should rest early. You'll be fine after a good night's sleep." Xiao Shi was baffled by Xiao Feng's actions. When she recalled how Xiao Feng grabbed her leg and helped her take off her shoes, her cheeks burned even hotter. However, a handsome face appeared in Xiao Shi's mind. It was Qin Feng's face. When she recalled the ambiguous scene that happened between her and Qin Feng on Devil Beast Mountain, Xiao Shi's beautiful eyes were filled with disappointment. She admired Xiao Feng, but she couldn't be with him because her body was touched by another man. She felt that it was unfair to Xiao Feng. What an innocent and cute girl. After Qin Feng left Xiao Shi's rented courtyard, he took out his cell phone and ordered takeout. It was fine for Qin Feng to skip dinner, but he couldn't let Xiao Shi go hungry. Moreover, Xiao Shi's stove was burned by Qin Feng. She couldn't cook even if she wanted to. After Qin Feng ordered the takeout, he went online and ordered a gas stove, a water heater, and other household appliances. He wrote Xiao Shi's address on the address. When Qin Feng remembered that Xiao Shi only wore a camisole in the winter, he quickly went to the clothing store and bought dozens of coats, sweaters, and undergarments. Only then was he satisfied. "Be big brother, save me. I beg you, please save me." Just as Qin Feng placed his order and put away his cell phone, he saw a person lying on the ground in front of the alley. The person stretched out a bloody hand and begged for help. Chapter 602. Qin Feng quickly regained his senses. He was a stage 6 inner chi hybrid genius who cultivated martial, demon, and corpse arts. How could he be scared by a stinking brat? As a top-notch hedonistic young master, Qin Feng had naturally heard of many people who liked to play pranks at night. They would dress up as ghosts in elevators and scare people in the toilet. In high school, Qin Feng even had his lackeys dress up as ghosts to scare girls in the middle of the night. When the little beauty was trembling like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered, Qin Feng would descend from the sky, save the beauty, beat up the evil ghost, and successfully get a room. Qin Feng felt that he had too many glorious achievements in picking up girls. If he really had to list them one by one, he wouldn't even be able to finish a tenth of them in an entire book. Qin Feng strode over to the evil ghost and sent it flying with a kick. "Ah, big brother. Why did you hit me? I'm already miserable enough." The evil ghost screamed in the air and fell to the ground with broken legs. Qin Feng felt that the ghost's voice was somewhat familiar. He strode to the evil ghost's side and carefully looked at it a few times before he recognized it. It was Brother Green Hat who tried to stop Xiao Shi in the afternoon. Qin Feng was very angry when he recognized Brother Green Hat. He raised his leg and fiercely stomped on him. "You bastard. You can't beat me, so you use this kind of despicable method to scare me? Do you think I'm scared?" Qin Feng's stomp was very heavy and almost made Brother Green Hat's intestines come out. Green Hat had a sullen and painful expression. He wanted to say something but couldn't. When he opened his mouth, it turned into a scream. Qin Feng beat him for a while before he finished and turned to leave. Brother Green Hat hurriedly called out to Qin Feng, Big brother, don't go. Save me. If you don't take me to the hospital, I'll really become a ghost." Qin Feng unhappily glared at Brother Green Hat. "You deserve to die. Let's see if you still dare to dress up as a ghost and scare me." Green Hair was so wrong that he wanted to cry. He wasn't here to scare Qin Feng. In the afternoon, he was surrounded by sparrows, and all of his skin was pecked beyond recognition. After his lackeys ran away, none of them came back to take Green Hair, so they left Green Hair with a broken leg in the alley to fend for himself. Green Hair had lost a lot of blood. He fainted and woke up and fainted again. He had just woken up and saw someone pass by. It turned out that it was Qin Feng. Green Hair gritted his teeth and asked Qin Feng for help. In the end, Qin Feng thought he was pretending to be a ghost and beat him up. Green Hair felt bitter in his heart. He really wanted to call Qin Feng an idiot, but when the words reached his mouth, he didn't dare to say them. "Big brother, it's a misunderstanding. Big brother, I broke my legs and I can't even walk." "How could I pretend to be a ghost and scare Big brother? I was bitten by a sparrow. Please take me to the hospital, Big brother. From now on, this little brother's life is yours." Green Hair begged Qin Feng bitterly. Qin Feng now understood that he had misunderstood Green Hair. Ahem, so it's like that. Then I won't hit you. Let's go." Qin Feng wouldn't save Green Hair. This brat dared to have designs on Xiao Shi, so he deserved to end up like this. Seeing that Qin Feng was about to leave, Green Hair immediately panicked. He yelled at the top of his lungs, Big brother, don't go. I know a treasure. If you save my life, I'll take you to find the treasure, and all the treasure will belong to Big brother." Qin Feng stopped and returned to Green Hair's side. If there really was a treasure, it would be a waste not to take it. There really is a treasure? Qin Feng looked coldly at Green Hair. When Green Hair saw that Qin Feng had returned, he was so excited that he was about to cry. He hurriedly nodded. Yes, Big brother. Don't worry. This little brother will definitely not lie to you. Can you take me to the hospital first? My phone is broken, and my leg is broken. If I lie down, I'll really die." Qin Feng glanced at Green Hair's eyes. Seeing that Green Hair didn't seem to be lying, Qin Feng took out a set of silver needles from Gao Tianyao and placed them on the ground. Swish, swish, Swish. Green Hair was stunned by the scene in front of him. When he regained his senses, he found that there were more than 10 needles on his body. These needles were even trembling on their own. It was extremely strange. Fuck. Big brother, believe me, there really is a treasure. Please don't kill me to silence me. I didn't know that girl was Big Brother's woman. Otherwise, I wouldn't dare to tease her even if you beat me to death. Green Hair thought that Qin Feng was trying to harm him, so he was so scared that his body trembled at the same frequency as the silver needles. Seeing Green Hair's fearful expression, Qin Feng slapped him on the head and yelled, "What are you yelling for? I'm saving you. Just obediently lie down for 5 minutes and you'll be fine." Qin Feng's slap was so fierce that Green Hair felt like his head was almost sent flying. He really didn't dare to yell anymore, but his body still trembled incessantly. After a while, Green Hair's expression changed greatly. He suddenly felt that the pain in his body had disappeared, and the ruptured wounds were rapidly healing. Big brother, are you really a genius, doctor? I've wronged you before. I hope Big Brother won't be angry. No matter how stupid Green Hair was, he could tell that Qin Feng actually knew medicine. What was this? Traditional Chinese medicine? Wasn't it all a lie? Qin Feng was too lazy to pay attention to Green Hair. He suddenly pulled Green Hair's legs over. Without giving Green Hair any time to react, Qin Feng had already reattached Green Hair's 2 broken legs. Green Hair's eyes widened, and he was stunned for a few seconds. Then, he let out a long howl and widened his eyes again. Done? 2 broken legs were reattached just like that? Isn't this a little too childish? Green Hair was now completely convinced that Qin Feng was really a genius doctor. Moreover, his skills were very valiant. Green Hair truly regretted offending Qin Feng and Xiao Shi. That girl was even scarier. She actually kept so many pets at home, and those pets even attacked people. Green Hair decided that he would never see these 2 monsters again. Where's the treasure you spoke of? Take me there now. After Qin Feng healed Green Hair, he didn't waste any more time and went straight to the point. Green Hair's eyes floated around, and he seemed a bit guilty. Big brother, why you reattached my broken legs so easily? Aren't you afraid that I'll suddenly run away? Or lie to you that there's no treasure? Qin Feng indifferently curled his lips and said, "You can't run away. If there really isn't any treasure, then I'll just break your legs." Qin Feng spoke lightly, but Green Hair's mouth twitched violently. He was so scared that his little heart almost jumped out of his throat. He hurriedly said, "Big brother, I really found a secret tunnel. That tunnel was dug very deep, and only I know where it is. Once, I walked for a long time and still couldn't reach the end. I suspect that there's treasure hidden inside. But if there isn't, please don't break this little brother's dog legs. Let me keep my dog legs to run errands for you." Qin Feng slapped Green Hair's head again and jokingly scolded, "Brat, you sure know how to flatter. Lead the way to the treasure first. We can talk about other things later." Green Hair didn't dare to go against Qin Feng's words. He quickly crawled up from the ground and led the way. The 2 of them didn't say much along the way. Green Hair just kept walking forward and brought Qin Feng to the area near Provincial Capital University. "Green Hat, have the treasure you spoke of arrived yet? Are you trying to waste time with me?" Qin Feng was a bit impatient. Green Hair was angered to death by Qin Feng calling him Green Hat, but he didn't dare to show it. He smiled and said, "Big brother, we're here. It's just up ahead. Just a few more steps and we'll be there." Green Hair didn't lie. Qin Feng walked with him for a few minutes and saw Green Hair squatting in front of a manhole cover. He directly moved the manhole cover away, pointed downwards, and said, "Big brother, the treasure is down there. Come and see." Qin Feng didn't say anything and kicked Green Hair into the manhole cover. He muttered indignantly, "Stinking brat, do you think I'm stupid? There's a sewer under the manhole cover. You want to trick me into going over and then secretly kick me down? Are you a fucking idiot?" "Io, big brother, why didn't you say anything before you kicked me? This tunnel has an iron ladder to climb down." Little brother almost fell to his death. Just as Qin Feng finished complaining, Green Hair's blood-curdling screams came from under the manhole cover. Qin Feng squatted down and looked inside. He discovered that there really wasn't a sewer under the manhole cover, but a man-made tunnel. Qin Feng's old face reddened, and he was a bit embarrassed. He climbed down the iron ladder and saw Green Hair covered in dirt. He said with a smile, "Brat, why didn't you say so earlier? I thought there wasn't a ladder." "Okay, hurry and lead the way. If we really find the treasure, Big Brother will give you a bit." Green Hair didn't know what Qin Feng was thinking when he kicked him. Otherwise, he would have vomited blood in anger. Hearing that Qin Feng was willing to give him a bit of the treasure, Green Hair immediately patted off the dirt on his body. He excitedly turned on his phone's flashlight and led the way. This tunnel was very long and bottomless. The tunnel wasn't a government project used to drain water or install pipes. It was clearly a private tunnel. Such a deep and long tunnel wasn't a small project. Qinlin was curious as to what this tunnel was dug for. The two of them walked in the tunnel for over 20 minutes. They didn't know where they were. This tunnel was full of twists and turns, and there were many forks in the road. It was enough to make people dizzy. "Big Brother, light, I see light." Green Hair, who was walking in front, cried out in surprise. He increased his pace and ran forward. Qin Feng also became spirited and followed closely behind Green Hair. The two of them came to a place with light. The light was very dim, and specks of starlight seeped in from the outside. They observed for a bit and found that it was still a manhole cover. It should lead to another exit, but there was no treasure. "Big Brother, maybe we went the wrong way. How about we go around and take a look again? There must be treasure." Green Hair was so scared that he broke out in a cold sweat. He was deeply afraid that Qin Feng would break his leg in the next second. Qin Feng waved his hand and said, "Go push the manhole cover and see where you can see." Green Hair was actually suffocating in this tunnel and wanted to go out now. He hurriedly used all his strength to push the manhole cover and slowly pushed it open. The moonlight outside shone in. The two of them had the feeling of climbing out of a collapsed coal mine. The fresh air outside blew into the tunnel. Qin Feng and Green Hair both took a few deep breaths. The two of them climbed along the metal railing to the surface. Qin Feng looked around and found that this was actually the interior of Provincial Capital University. He came from the street opposite the school and crawled all the way into the school. How bored was the person who dug this tunnel? "Aya, Big Brother. This looks like Provincial Capital University, right? How did it lead here?" Green Hair also had a face full of complaints. They painstakingly crawled this tunnel. Even if there was no treasure, it should at least lead to a bank vault or a prison cell. It felt so shameful to have to go through the school. Qin Feng slowly calmed down and examined his surroundings. This was the interior of Provincial Capital University, but it had already deviated from the Bishop's district. It was near an old and abandoned biological laboratory building. Qin Feng looked at the tunnel entrance and then looked at Provincial Capital University. A glimmer of light flashed in his eyes. Chapter 603. Qin Feng suddenly opened his palm. In the center of his palm was a swarthy black ball. It looked like a pill. "Big Brother, what are you doing?" Green Hair looked at Qin Feng in confusion. "Does your wound hurt?" Qin Feng asked. "Still a little, but it's much better than before. Thank you for saving my life, Big Brother." Green Hair didn't understand why Qin Feng suddenly asked this. He started to flatter Qin Feng again. One shouldn't hit a smiling person, so he just had to say more nice things. "Then swallow this pill. It can help your wound heal quickly and reduce the swelling and pain," Qin Feng said indifferently. Green Hair had seen Qin Feng's miraculous medical skills before, so he didn't doubt him. He took the pill from Qin Feng's hand and swallowed it. He said with a pained expression, "Big Brother, what medicine is this? It's so sour and smelly." Seeing Green Hair swallow the pill, Qin Feng's face turned cold. He said, "Green Hat, I'll give you a task now. Are you willing to help me complete it?" Green Hair had a bad premonition in his heart. He felt that something was wrong. "Big Brother, you saved my life. I'm willing to do anything for you. I won't hesitate. Qin Feng nodded his head in satisfaction. He pointed at the tunnel under the manhole cover and said, then search the tunnel for the next few days. Find every exit and entrance that the tunnel leads to. You're the only one allowed to search, and you're not allowed to find anyone to help. Greenhair's face turned as black as the bottom of a pot. If he could beat Qin Feng, he would have crushed Qin Feng into a meat patty and fed it to the dogs. The tunnel was pitch black and airtight. Greenhair almost suffocated in there. He even gave up on the idea of looking for treasure. Even if there was treasure, the tunnel wasn't a place for people to stay. You're not willing? Qin Feng raised his voice and asked again when he saw Greenhair didn't speak. Greenhair was definitely not willing, but to save his life, he quickly agreed. After leaving tonight, Greenhair planned to pack his things and move to another city. He didn't want to see Qin Feng and Xiao Shishir ever again. Big brother, how could I? I'm more than happy. Qin Feng nodded and said with a smile, very good. Then find the other entrances and exits in 3 days and come find me for the antidote. All right, big brother, can I go now? That's not right. Big brother, did you just say that I wanted the antidote from you? What antidote? Greenhaired excitedly prepared to leave. He suddenly froze and looked at Qin Feng in astonishment. The pill you just took is poison. It will take effect in 3 days. At that time, all the meridians in your body will break and you will bleed to death. Then, your body will start to rot. The green-haired man's face turned pale with fright when he heard half of it, and he broke out in a cold sweat. He started to use his fingers to cover his throat with all his might, wanting to spit out the pill. Greenhair felt that he was a shameless person, but after meeting Qin Feng, he realized what true shamelessness was. There's no need to be picky. The poison I developed melts once it enters your mouth, and its effects have already entered your blood. Just obediently work for me, and when the time comes, I'll give you the antidote. Qin Feng interrupted Greenhair's actions. Greenhair was truly scared silly. He had seen Qin Feng's miraculous medical skills, so he believed that the pill just now was poison. No wonder it tasted astringent and had a bit of a stench. Who knew what was used to refine it? Qin Feng looked at Greenhair's pale face and laughed in his heart. Now that he had lost contact with the system, how could Qin Feng have any poison? That pill was just a small ball made from the mud that Qin Feng stuck to his body when he tunneled through the tunnel. It could only scare an ignorant hooligan like Greenhair. The reason why Qin Feng had Greenhair investigate the other entrances and exits of the tunnel was because he was worried that the William family dug these tunnels. This time, the William family secretly infiltrated Capital University, and it was very likely that they used these tunnels. When Greenhair found out that he couldn't even run, he felt extremely sullen. However, things had already come to this, so he immediately changed his attitude. He looked at Qin Feng with a fawning expression and said, Hee, big brother, you misunderstood. There was dirt in my mouth, and that was just spitting. I didn't mean anything else. Being able to work for Big Brother is the greatest honor in my life. Don't worry, Big Brother. I'll definitely do this well. Not bad. That's the right thing to do. You can go back now, Qin Feng said. Qin Feng had seen many award-winning hooligans like Greenhair, so he was not surprised at all. Greenhair heaved a sigh of relief. He turned around and was about to leave when Qin Feng suddenly shouted, Wait, go back from here. The green-haired man looked at Qin Feng pointing at the tunnel under the manhole cover, and his eyes were filled with despair. Before he could come back to his senses, a gust of wind came from behind him. Qin Feng kicked the green-haired man back into the tunnel. After covering the manhole cover, Qin Feng raised his head and looked at the starry night sky. What a beautiful night! The villa that Yin Wushuang rented was not far from Capital University, so Qin Feng quickly returned to the villa. This time, he returned as Qiao Feng, so he couldn't stay with Chang Xian and Hua Yin anymore. However, he was happy to live under the same roof as Yin Wushuang. You're not dead yet? Why are you back so late? Yin Wushuang's cold voice came from the living room sofa as soon as Qin Feng entered the villa. Yin Wushuang was wearing a black silk nightgown. She was wrapped in a woolen blanket and curled up on the sofa, watching a stupid Korean drama. Qin Feng felt like he had returned to his own home. He took off his shoes, jumped onto the sofa, and ate the fruits on the coffee table. What's wrong? Can't you sleep if I'm not back? Why don't we sleep together tonight? Yin Wushuang knew what Qin Feng was going to say the moment he opened his mouth. She angrily interrupted him. Shut up. You can sleep on the street tonight if you keep talking nonsense. Qin Feng curled his lips and mumbled, Fine, I won't sleep with you. But don't beg me to sleep with you in the future. Qin Feng, do you want to die? What are you mumbling about? Do you want to piss me off every day to be happy? Yin Wushuang and Qin Feng were a pair of quarrelsome lovers. They would quarrel after a few sentences and then reconcile after a few sentences. I heard you defeated the exchange student from the St. Medical College today. Did you notice anything wrong? Yin Wushuang brought the topic back to business. She couldn't wait to complete the A-rank mission of the Dragon Sect as soon as possible so that she wouldn't have to be Qin Feng's partner anymore. There are 5 exchange student representatives from the St. Medical College. They are about the same age as me, so there's nothing special about them. However, there's a girl named Avril who is a little strange. She didn't speak during the battle and seemed to be absent-minded. She wasn't as angry as the other 4 exchange students when they lost. It seems like she doesn't care about the exchange. It was rare for Qin Feng to not joke around with Yin Wushuang. In fact, when Qin Feng was serious, Yin Wushuang found him quite pleasing to the eye. All right, I'll keep an eye on that girl named Avril. Have you seen the representative group of teachers? Are there any suspicious people among them? Yin Wushuang did not go to class. She split the work with Qin Feng. Qin Feng was in charge of observing in public, while Yin Wushuang was in charge of investigating in secret. I haven't seen the representative group of lecturers yet. However, I defeated those exchange students today, so I believe the representative group of lecturers from the St. Medical College will come looking for me tomorrow. I'll let you know if there's anything new. At this point, Qin Feng thought of something and added, That's right, I just found a suspicious tunnel. I suspect it was dug by the William family. The tunnel leads from a hidden street outside of Provincial Capital University all the way to the biological laboratory in the Old City area of Provincial Capital University. You can check it out when you have time. Yin Wushuang's beautiful eyes sparkled. She said excitedly, This is a good clue. I'll go check it out myself. Qin Feng nodded and told Yin Wushuang the exact location of the manhole cover. Yin Wushuang memorized the location. Yin Wushuang stayed up late not because she was worried about Qin Feng, but because she was waiting for him to come back and exchange information. Yin Wushuang had been in the university for the whole day and had found some clues. Now that she got the clue from Qin Feng, she wrapped herself in a wool blanket and went upstairs. Yin Wushuang suddenly stopped in the middle of the stairs and said lightly, There's food in the thermos in the kitchen. I was going to feed it to the dog. You can go and eat it if you haven't eaten yet. After saying that, Yin Wushuang went upstairs in a carefree manner. The corner of Qin Feng's mouth twitched. He knew Yin Wushuang was a woman with a sharp tongue but a soft heart. The dinner in the thermos was obviously left for him. It was supposed to be a romantic dinner, but she said it was for the dog. Qin Feng thought, Should I eat it, or eat it, or eat it? Yin Wushuang went upstairs and went to bed. Qin Feng took out his dinner from the thermos and ate it on the coffee table in the living room while watching TV. The dinner was very sumptuous. There were 3 dishes and a soup, and it tasted good. It seemed that Yin Wushuang's culinary skills were pretty good. Qin Feng was famished because he had not eaten anything yet. He wolfed down the food and wiped out the love dinner Yin Wushuang had left for him in a matter of minutes. Ding! Congratulations, host Qin Feng, for completing the second side mission of Yun Province Disturbance and successfully making the Qin family the #1 family in Yun Province. The system will reward host Qin Feng 20,000 Hedonist points and a random Earth-grade secret skill scroll. Ding! Congratulations, host Qin Feng, for completing the main mission of Yun Province Disturbance and successfully unifying the 4 cities of Yun Province. The system will reward host Qin Feng 30,000 Hedonist points and a random secret skill scroll. Ding! Congratulations, host Qin Feng, for defeating the 5 exchange students from St. Medical Institute and promoting Chinese medicine. The system will reward host Qin Feng with a storm poison needle. Qin Feng had just finished his meal and was about to wash the dishes when the long-awaited system notification rang in his mind. Although it was still cold, Qin Feng felt that the sound was as sweet as the tinkling of spring water. Qin Feng looked at the completed quests. He did not expect that he had completed all the quests of Yun Province disturbance. This was out of his expectation. How could I unify the 4 cities of Yun Province so easily? As for the Rainstorm Poison Needles mission, Qin Feng could understand it. This was a mission issued by the system to develop Chinese medicine and make Chinese medicine famous. There was no time limit for this mission, and the reward was unknown. As Qin Feng continued to develop Chinese medicine, the system would reward him in stages. The 5 Poison Needle and 100 Herb Sutra were the rewards of this quest. After a series of notifications, the system notification rang again after a short pause. Reminder: the quest defeat all the forces of the Liang family in the provincial capital and assist Yun Zhao's younger brother, Yun Zhe, to become the young master of the Yun family in the provincial capital are about to expire. Countdown: 38 days. Qin Feng looked at the 2 quests that were about to expire. These were the 2 quests that the system had issued before the battle at the Amethyst Dragon Palace. Qin Feng felt that he had to find some time to complete these 2 quests. Little Pig, are you there? Why did I lose contact with the system? Qin Feng temporarily put aside the quests and tried to communicate with Little Pig through his mind. The last time the system rebooted was because Qin Feng was severely injured. How could he lose contact with the system this time? Chapter 604. Ding! The Hedonist Sovereign System has issued a quest. Host must pick up the female boss, Yin Wu Shuang, within the specified time. Quest time limit: 3 months. If the quest is successfully completed, the system will reward host Qin Feng with 50 Hedonist points and a lover's lock. If the quest is failed, 50,000 Hedonist points will be deducted. Qin Feng didn't wait for Little Pig's reply. Instead, he heard a series of notifications from the system. Qin Feng was dumbfounded when he saw the quest. He couldn't believe it. He had accepted many quests from the system, but this was the first time he had received a quest that only rewarded 50 Hedonist points but had a penalty of 50,000 Hedonist points. Was the system not malfunctioning? Of course it's not a system malfunction. I was the one who issued this quest to Master. Little Pig's angry voice sounded in Qin Feng's mind. Qin Feng thought for a bit, and an image flashed in the system. He saw Little Pig's fur standing on end, and his skin was charred black as if he had been struck by lightning. Qin Feng's mouth turned into an O shape. Little Pig, what happened to you? Qin Feng was so agitated that he spoke in a local dialect. What happened? It's all because of you, Master. Little Pig said with an aggrieved expression. 3 days ago, you asked me about innate seductive bones on the pedestrian street in Acropolis City. I almost revealed your secret, so the system started to punish me. I was struck by lightning for 3 days and 3 nights, and the system automatically shut down for 3 days and 3 nights. It just reopened now. Hearing this, Qin Feng was dumbfounded. Being struck by lightning for 3 days and 3 nights and still alive, a dead pig doesn't fear boiling water. These ancient sayings really made sense. Why did innate seductive bones reveal your secret? Qin Feng still didn't understand. Innate seductive bones are nothing, but this kind of woman has something to do with Master's past. Crackle. Just as Little Pig was halfway through his sentence, Qin Feng saw a purple kite lightning strike from the system. It struck Little Pig squarely in the forehead. Qin Feng felt pain just by looking at it. He wondered how Little Pig felt. Oh, Master, don't talk to me anymore. I hate you. Black smoke came out of Little Pig's pink nose, and he couldn't open his eyes. Qin Feng felt sorry for this little guy. How could the system be so inhumane? That's right. This is a pig. Humanity is useless. Okay, then I won't talk about being born with a seductive bone anymore. Oh right, you said that being born with a seductive bone has something to do with my identity? What does that mean? Qin Feng's curiosity was piqued. He was very curious about his background. Ever since he was born, he and his father, Qin Huang, had depended on each other. Uncle Fu had always been his bodyguard. Qin Feng had never seen his mother. He didn't know where she was and how she was doing. Or did they not even know whether they were alive or dead? Qin Feng really wanted to know about this, but every time he asked his father, Qin Huang would change the topic. Now that the system seemed to know about Qin Feng's background, how could Qin Feng miss this great opportunity? A lightning halo hovered above Little Pig's head. Little Pig raised his eyelids slightly and saw it clearly. Seeing this, Qin Feng didn't wait for Little Pig to speak and changed the question. Lil Piggy, why did you give me that mission to pick up girls? The reward is so little, and the punishment is so high. Are you trying to harm me? Qin Feng stared at Little Pig. Little Pig didn't even bother to avoid Qin Feng's gaze. It said straightforwardly, Master, I gave you that mission on purpose. I also purposely lowered the reward and increased the punishment. I was struck by lightning for 3 days and 3 nights, and Master, you've been picking up girls for 3 days and 3 nights. You can't bully a small animal like this. Since Master likes to pick up girls so much, then I'll fulfill your wish. Little Pig had always been very vengeful. Qin Feng was so angry that he gritted his teeth, but he couldn't do anything to this fat little pig. Qin Feng carefully looked at the mission again and realized that the target of his picking up girls was Yan Wushuang. Qin Feng slapped his forehead. This was another difficult mission. Yan Wushuang said before that she would rather be with a pig than Qin Feng. If Qin Feng was really with her, then wouldn't he be a pig? Little Pig ignored Qin Feng. There was a ball of lightning hovering above his head, so he wasn't in the mood to talk. Qin Feng could only study the system interface. He had completed quite a few missions and now had a total of 127,000 hedonist points, an Earth-grade skill scroll, and a hidden interface scroll. Qin Feng first used the 2 scrolls and drew an Earth-grade skill scroll, Demon Lord's Bible. Then, he opened the system's hidden interface, Spirit Talisman Palace. According to the Demon Lord's Bible, this was a high-grade skill scroll of the Demon Cultivator clan. It could increase the speed of a Demon Cultivator's breakthrough. After all, Qin Feng wasn't a Demon Cultivator or Evil Cultivator. He had only absorbed Demon Qi and Corpse Qi, so this Demon Cultivator's secret scroll wasn't very useful to Qin Feng. As for the Spirit Talisman Palace, it was actually a very useful interface. The mind-cleansing talismans, tranquil talismans, and fireball talismans that Qin Feng bought from the system could all be made for free at the Spirit Talisman Hall. However, there was a certain threshold for making talismans in the Spirit Talisman Hall. Qin Feng was only at the inner Qi stage and didn't have any true Qi in his body. He could only collect some spirit stones and place them in the Spirit Talisman Hall in order to make some talismans for free. Qin Feng wasn't a demon cultivator, so he didn't have spirit stones on him. Therefore, these 2 scrolls were temporarily useless to Qin Feng. With a trace of disappointment, Qin Feng opened the out-of-print interface. He had been eyeing the cosmic flying sword for a long time. Opening the out-of-print interface, the first page to be unlocked was the cosmic flying sword. The page was still gray, and there were 2 chains hanging on it. At the bottom, it was marked that it required 100,000 hedonist points to unlock. Now that Qin Feng had 127,000 hedonist points, he clenched his teeth and pressed the unlock button. Click. 100,000 hedonist points disappeared in an instant, leaving only 27,000. The 2 chains automatically broke, and the originally gray page shone with a golden light. A dazzling longsword was engraved on the page. The body of the sword gave off a flowing red light. It lay motionlessly on the page, but Qin Feng could feel the long sword piercing through the clouds and soaring freely in the bright sky. Good sword. It really is a good sword. With this cosmic flying sword, inner Qi stage martial artists are no match for me. Qin Feng could already feel the power of the cosmic flying sword even before he obtained it. Qin Feng tried to grab the cosmic flying sword with his hand, but he grabbed nothing. Master, the items in the out-of-print interface are all out of print in the system. The system doesn't even have them, So Master has to collect the materials and make them himself, Little Pig said. When Qin Feng had obtained the out-of-print interface, he had guessed that the system would screw him over like this. However, when he spent 100,000 hedonist points to unlock the Galaxy Flying Sword and found out that the Galaxy Flying Sword no longer existed, and that his 100,000 hedonist points had gone down the drain, Qin Feng really wanted to strangle the little pig. Little Pig seemed to feel the chill on Qin Feng's body and continued to say, "However, as long as Master makes a cosmic flying sword, you will be helping the system make up for what it doesn't have. The system will give Master a generous reward in return. The reward will be double the hedonist points you spent to unlock the out-of-print celestial equipment." Qin Feng's mood quickly improved. Double the reward? If he made this cosmic flying sword, the system would give him 200,000 hedonist points. It seemed that the system was quite humane. A second ago, Qin Feng was cursing the system for being shameless, but now, he was beaming with joy, praising the system for being humane and all sorts of good things. Little Pig was used to its master's vulgarity and shamelessness, so it wasn't surprised at all. It lay on Qin Feng's shoulder and entertained itself. Qin Feng calmed himself down and looked at the cosmic flying sword page again. Chapter 605. Yuan Meteor Stones, large amounts of crystal stones, large amounts of spirit stones, 100-year ice crystals, cold steel, black copper. There were many materials needed to create a starry sky flying sword. There were more than 30 types of materials. Qin Feng had heard of more than 20 of them and could think of ways to obtain them. As for the other 10 or so materials, he had only heard of them and were rarely seen on Earth. There were even some materials that he had never heard of before. Qin Feng didn't know where to look for them. Forging the cosmic flying sword was much more difficult than Qin Feng had expected. This made Qin Feng a little disappointed. He didn't know if he could forge this celestial equipment. Qin Feng closed the out-of-print interface and looked at his remaining 27,000 hedonist points. Where should he spend them? Right now, Qin Feng had all sorts of high-grade cultivation methods and secret manuals. He also had all sorts of blue and orange-grade spiritual weapons. On the contrary, his own strength was still lacking. Of course, reaching stage 6 inner chi at Qin Feng's age was already rare in China. However, after Qin Feng obtained the killer book, came into contact with China's 5 tigers, and witnessed true stage 9 external experts, Qin Feng's view of the world had changed. If stage 9 external was already so powerful, then the 9 dragons of China were all stage 9 inner chi experts. How powerful would they be? Qin Feng immediately decided to use the remaining hedonist points to concoct pills and use them to break through as soon as possible. Lei Ming, the leader of the yellow group in the dragon sect, was a stage 8 inner chi expert. Qin Feng couldn't even figure out the strength of the black group Song Changsheng. Qin Feng still had to stay in the dragon sect in the future. If he didn't increase his strength, how could he deal with these treacherous old foxes? Qin Feng opened the system's alchemy pavilion. The gigantic cauldron of the heaven and earth stood in front of Qin Feng. Qin Feng had studied the alchemy pavilion before. If he wanted to concoct higher quality pills, he had to continuously upgrade the cauldron of the heaven and earth and the fire seed. Qin Feng previously used the natural fire seed and the cauldron of the heaven and earth that the alchemy pavilion gave him for free to concoct grade 1 pills. Now that Qin Feng had subdued the destructive fire, he thought that he should be able to concoct higher quality pills. Boom! Qin Feng slapped his hand and several streams of destructive fire fell under the cauldron of the heaven and earth. The cauldron of the heaven and earth rose 3 meters high and burned of the cauldron of the heaven and earth. The heaven and earth cauldron slowly revolved. How powerful was the destructive fire? Yet, it was unable to melt the cauldron. It didn't even cause the slightest damage. Qin Feng looked at the Pill Concoction Pavilion's purchase interface. He discovered that only the first-grade pill formulas were lit up. The other pill formulas were gray, indicating that they could not be purchased. Now, all the elixir formulas of grade 3 and below were lit up. This meant that Qin Feng could refine grade 3 elixirs in the alchemy pavilion now that he had the destructive flame. This meant that he was a grade 3 alchemist. Qin Feng's mood immediately improved, and he prepared to choose a rank 3 medicinal pill that could speed up his breakthrough and increase his cultivation. At this moment, Little Pig reminded him, "Master, you can spend 10,000 hedonist points to upgrade the Heaven and Earth Cauldron. After upgrading, with your destructive flames and the upgraded Heaven and Earth Cauldron, Master will be able to refine rank 4 medicinal pills." Qin Feng's mind stirred. A grade 4 elixir was a grade higher than a grade 3 elixir. The difference between them was like a chasm. Upgrade the Heaven and Earth Cauldron. Qin Feng didn't think too much and spent 10,000 hedonist points to upgrade the Heaven and Earth Cauldron. Rumble. Suddenly, a loud sound rang out, and the ground of the pill concoction pavilion shook violently. The 3-meter-tall Heaven and Earth Cauldron seemed to be covered in a layer of dust. The ancient runes on the cauldron changed, and the giant cauldron began to slowly grow bigger. In the end, it became a super cauldron that was at least 5 meters tall. Compared to the Heaven and Earth Cauldron before it was upgraded, it was clearly more high-end and majestic. After the Heaven and Earth Cauldron was upgraded, Qin Feng discovered that the purchase interface of the pill concoction pavilion had changed. The previously sealed 4th-grade pill formulas were now lit up, indicating that they could be purchased. Qin Feng carefully looked at the pill formulas of various grades. Most of the 1st-grade medicinal pills started from 1,000 hedonist points, and the higher ones were 3,000 hedonist points. The refreshment pills and healing pills that Qin Feng refined last time cost 1,000 hedonist points. Qin Feng specially looked at the price of the blood chi pill and the inner vitality pill. These 2 pills were 2nd-grade miraculous pills. Back then, the system sold the blood chi pill for 1,000 hedonist points each, and the inner vitality pill for 2,000 hedonist points each. The 2 pill formulas in the pill concoction pavilion cost 3,000 hedonist points. Don't think that 3,000 hedonist points was a high price. This was because the pill formulas contained the ingredients needed to refine the pills, and it could refine 15 pills at a time. In total, one pill was only 200 hedonist points, which was much cheaper than the system's 1,000 hedonist points and 2,000 hedonist points each. Qin Feng finally understood the use of the pill concoction pavilion. With the pill concoction pavilion, not only could he refine all kinds of miraculous pills, but it also saved Qin Feng a lot of hedonist points. Qin Feng no longer hesitated. His gaze fell on the 4th-grade spirit pills, searching for the pill that was most suitable for him. Qi Strengthening Pill Description. A 4th-grade spirit pill can stabilize a martial artist's inner qi, refine inner qi, and speed up the breakthrough of martial artists below stage 6 inner qi. Recipe price: 10,000 hedonist points. After Qin Feng finished reading the introduction of the Qi Strengthening Pill, he went to the general purchase page outside the pill concoction pavilion. A single Qi Strengthening Pill cost 5,000 hedonist points, but the pill concoction pavilion only cost 10,000 hedonist points to refine 8 Qi Strengthening Pills. Qin Feng saved 30,000 hedonist points in one go. Qin Feng still had 17,000 hedonist points left, so he spent 10,000 hedonist points on the Qi Strengthening Pill formula. The remaining 7,000 hedonist points were reserved for emergencies. 10,000 hedonist points disappeared in an instant, and the Qi Strengthening Pill formula was successfully purchased. Qin Feng's mind was flooded with a huge amount of unfamiliar information about refining the Qi Strengthening Pill. At the same time, all kinds of precious medicinal ingredients appeared in the system's storage interface. Qin Feng could use these medicinal ingredients to refine the Qi Strengthening Pill at any time. With the formula and medicinal ingredients in hand, Qin Feng couldn't wait any longer. He immediately started to refine the Qi Strengthening Pill according to the alchemy procedure in his mind. Qin Feng used the Talisman of Clairvoyance to peep on Hua Yan refining the pill in Chang Xian's villa. At that time, Hua Yan's entire body was on fire, and her clothes were burnt to a crisp. While Qin Feng was enjoying the beautiful scenery, he also gained a better understanding of the alchemy procedure. With a wave of his hand, Qin Feng threw a few of the main medicinal ingredients into the cauldron of heaven and earth. The 5-meter-tall cauldron rose slowly and started to spin in the air. Qin Feng had to add the medicinal ingredients, control the temperature of the cauldron, control the degree of fusion of the medicinal ingredients, and control the speed of the cauldron. It went smoothly when Qin Feng was refining a grade 1 wonder pill. The refining process was simple, and it took only a short time. However, it was completely different when he was refining a grade 4 wonder pill. It was a long and exhausting process. If Qin Feng didn't activate the sacred Azure Battle Armor's hyper-intuition ability, he would have collapsed a long time ago. Rumble. After an unknown amount of time, a loud explosion came from the cauldron of heaven and earth. It sounded like the cauldron had exploded. Qin Feng hastily opened his eyes. 8 shining spirit pills flew out from the cauldron of heaven and earth and landed in Qin Feng's hand. The spirit pills were still warm and emitted a rich medicinal fragrance. The system told him that there were 8 qi-strengthening pills in theory. It was Qin Feng's first time refining qi-strengthening pills, but he managed to refine 8 qi-strengthening pills in perfect condition. This showed that Qin Feng had already stepped into the ranks of a grade 4 alchemist. Qin Feng stared at the 8 spirit pills in his hand with a burning gaze. He couldn't wait any longer and directly swallowed one of them. This was Qin Feng's first time eating a grade 4 wonder pill. This kind of wonder pill was extremely rare. Even in martial artist town's St. Medic Hall, there weren't many of them. The spirit pill melted in Qin Feng's mouth and emitted a rich medicinal fragrance. Waves of rich spiritual energy flowed through Qin Feng's meridians like a spiritual spring. Qin Feng hurriedly sat cross-legged and began to absorb the spiritual energy. The spiritual energy was endless, and Qin Feng suppressed it in his dantian again and again. This process was slow and boring, but Qin Feng was never tired of it. He felt that the originally empty depths of his dantian were now filled with spiritual energy, and there was a faint feeling of expansion. Advancing from stage 6 to stage 7 inner qi required a large amount of spiritual energy to break through the barrier. The qi-strengthening pill was the most effective spirit pill at this stage. After Qin Feng absorbed all the medicinal energy of the qi-strengthening pill, he was already at the bottleneck of breaking through. He only needed a suitable opportunity to smoothly break through this barrier. Qin Feng slowly exhaled. He didn't swallow the second qi-strengthening pill. For this kind of spirit pill, the first pill was the most effective. Taking more later pills would have no effect. Moreover, the qi in Qin Feng's body had not completely stabilized. He couldn't rush for instant benefits, or else it would have the opposite effect. Qin Feng spent the whole night absorbing and stabilizing the qi-strengthening pill. When he opened his eyes again, the sky outside was gradually getting brighter. Although Qin Feng didn't sleep for the whole night, he didn't feel tired at all. Instead, he felt refreshed. Why you are pretending to be a ghost early in the morning? You scared the hell out of me. As soon as Qin Feng retracted his aura, Yin Wu Shuang came downstairs in a pair of bare slippers. She was still wearing a black silk pajamas with long sleeves that covered her ankles. Although nothing could be seen, Qin Feng could tell that she wasn't wearing any undergarments. Qin Feng guessed that she wasn't wearing any undergarments. The qi-strengthening pill was very effective. Qin Feng had just broken through to stage 6 inner qi not long ago, but he had stabilized his qi to the peak of stage 6 inner qi in one night. He was in a good mood. He smiled at Yin Wushuang and said, "Team Leader Yin, do you pretend to be a ghost early in the morning? Even if I pretend to be a ghost, I'll knock on your door in the middle of the night." Yin Wushuang glared at Qin Feng angrily. She placed her hands on her hips, puffed out her chest, and sucked in her stomach. "How dare you scare me in the middle of the night? I'll kill you." Yin Wushuang suddenly looked at the lunchbox and the TV on the table. She asked doubtfully, "Did you lie on the sofa and watch TV the whole night? We are on a very difficult mission now. Why do you look like you are on vacation? I'm so mad." Qin Feng didn't explain to Yin Wushuang. He stood up and went upstairs. He was sweaty last night, so he wanted to take a shower. "Team Leader Yin, hurry up and make breakfast. I'm going downstairs to eat. Who do you think I am? A housekeeper? If you are hungry, make your own breakfast. Otherwise, go buy it from the street." Yin Wu Shuang was very unhappy. Why did she have such a lazy and lecherous partner? How can the food you buy from the street compare to team leader Yan's cooking? I like your cooking very much. It tastes good. It was rare for Qin Feng to praise Yin Wu Shuang. Yin Wu Shuang was stunned. When she regained her senses, she found that Qin Feng had gone upstairs. Yin Wu Shuang's cheeks were slightly flushed. She walked into the kitchen with a smile on her face. She put on her apron and started to prepare breakfast. At least you know what's good for you. You finally said something sensible. Forget it. Who asked this great beauty to be so kind-hearted? Now that I'm in a good mood, I'll make your breakfast as well. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.